Roberson here with another Don Barney, News Radio.
Hey, this is Abby Miller with the
Dear
Mighty
Kansas
7.
I know we're going to get an official update from Too Tall Tom in about 40 minutes, give or take, 1, 2, 3, or 4 minutes. 1 to 3 inches possible of snow tomorrow. I'm looking at a high of 12 degrees. So it's going to be cold and snowy for that Friday night tailgating going on up at the Fargo Dome. So keep that in mind. And if you're traveling in as well, do so safely. Last night, traveling around, first let me just say it was a lot of fun. Bringing the cruiser around to the houses, dropping off turkeys. Reactions, surprised, leery. There was some, do I open this door to this group of weird people wearing hats?
A lot of confused faces.
There was a lot of confused behavior antics as well. People were giving away hats from KFGO to children whose birthday it was. I mean, picture this. You're at home. You have no idea that your display of lights is appealing enough that you're going to have a RV pull up and you're going to have people dressed up with Christmas hats on. You come in, there's 12 people out your door, and one of them's holding a frozen bird.
A lot of big bearded guys in the group, too.
Yes. There was a lot of that going on. So we probably looked a little suspicious in the first place. And then, lo and behold, we come to one spot and a mother, grateful we stopped by, got the turkey. Well, 4-year-old birthday. I don't know if they're having a birthday party inside or not. But I'm just going to out him. Joe Heitkamp goes, you look like you need a hat. Takes the hat off of his head and gives it to this child. As if it wasn't unusual enough to have a 12-person crew show up, give you a frozen turkey. Now we're giving hats off our heads. I hope those of you that are listening that were on the receiving end of the turkey, thanks for having the Christmas cheer and actually answering when we.
I'm a little surprised he didn't just pull out the old billfold. Yeah. Throw the kid a 20.
Here's 20. Go buy yourself something nice, kid.
Right. Here's my weird Christmas jester hat.
Yeah, it wasn't even that it was a regular Santa hat. It had 4 prongs on it, like he was a jester for the crown at some point.
I will say,
I hope that kid keeps that hat and has a story to tell at school.
Big accomplishment for the KFGO crew. Outside of bringing some Christmas cheer around our area, nobody fell down.
Nobody fell down. It was a nice skating rink. That's what I was getting at, was the fact that driving into the game tomorrow, keep in mind it's going to be cold. You're going to probably have a little bit of snow, 1 to 3 inches according to Schmansky. Possible tomorrow through tomorrow night. Tomorrow night being an 8:15 kickoff. But last night, boy, it was icy out there. The ice conditions, it's been a while because you had that fog, then you had really a sleet, and it froze up what felt like instantly because it was in between one house and the next, and all of a sudden you get out and it is pure ice. So
and by the time we got to our last stop, it was, my feet did not leave contact with the ground. I just shuffled my way forward.
Penguin shuffling going on to get in the rig and get back home. 237-5948. That's the Laney studio line. You can text into 35270 as well. Got questions coming in. Spencer Worth, the Meat Dude, is going to be joining us in about 3 minutes' time. This other message came in, and we will have some time today because Paul Allen, the voice of the Minnesota Vikings, schedule doesn't work today. We're taking him. He said, I'll call you Monday. We'll chat about Monday Night Football. I'll give you a preview of that game. So for something like that, there's a couple of items I want to talk about today. One being Jim Jordan's text messages and how Congressman Armstrong, our very own, really went to bat for Jim Jordan. And quite frankly, it didn't really hold up well, did it? But this came in during the end, the way I gather, of News and Views, talking about the way of which some school lunches are going in the area here. Tyler, the school Amy's referring to, and if you missed the crosstalk between It Takes Two and Afternoons Live, you missed a lot, but one of them being the fact that actually in West Fargo Elementary School, they have students eating lunch in their winter attire, their jackets, their all of that stuff, and it's just face value is kind of why. I mean, sure, I'm sure at a younger age probably takes a little bit of time to get the snow pants on, get the jacket. Sort of trying to save time is what I have got to imagine. But even then, I think we are just trying to cram so much in to a school day for some of these young students that there's not enough time to breathe and just allow for A, B, or C to happen here. And I know just visiting with a family who, and this has been a couple years now because they've gotten a little older, of which they had, just a short enough lunchtime to where you don't even really get to probably taste the food. We'll continue that conversation. I got to take an early break here. I've got messages coming in for the meat dude, Spencer Wirt. He is next. Send him in. He'll ask them or answer them. I'll ask him on your behalf. How does that sound? It's Thursday afternoon. We're just getting started here on KFGO. Stick around.
Why do I like ice fishing so much? I don't know. To me, it's just something I enjoy and just a hobby that I've been into for quite a few years. And I'm not necessarily good at it, but I enjoy it. It's fun. It's good time to get out and hang out with all your buddies and just get away from reality for a little while. First time that I ever went ice fishing, I was like 6 or 7, and I actually fell through the ice. We were in a portable ice house, and I was standing in there, and my dad and my uncle Kevin were moving it, and when they pushed it, I wasn't ready for it, and my leg went down the hole. That was fun. It was cold. You can get into hunting and fishing and stuff like that relatively cheap, and it's just like buying a vehicle. You can spend thousands and thousands of dollars, or you can just go to Walmart and get enough stuff and go out and do it, and you can be just as successful as the people that spend all the money on it. North Bros Outdoors, yeah, me and a buddy of mine, Jacob Enixon, we went to high school together, and we actually had the idea back in high school to make an outdoors page, just hunting and fishing, four-wheeling, anything outdoors basically. A lot of it right now, it's really, really heavily based on ice fishing, and this fall it was heavily based on deer hunting and bow hunting and rifle season too. So yeah, just kind of an outdoors group, and we call ourselves North Bros Outdoors. We've got a Facebook, an Instagram, and a YouTube channel. There's plenty of brands out there that you can get into it. If you're questioning it and you want to do it, do it. You won't regret it. The outdoors it's awesome.
Thank you. If the KFGO table could be a little quiet over here.
Sorry. We're talk show hosts.
Thursdays at this time, we head out to New Salem, North Dakota, where we connect with Spencer Ward, or as you call him, the meat dude. Spencer, how are you doing, man?
Doing good. How are you, Tyler?
I'm doing well. Doing real well. I'm looking at the calendar right now. We got Christmas next week. We got Friday Night Lights tomorrow. I'm doing well. And quite frankly, people are already stacking up questions for you in the text club. Do you want to start there, or do you want me to ask mine?
Hey, I always say you run the show. I'm just here to talk with you. So
You are a perfect guest, man. You're a sensational guest. Here, let me start this one. And I don't know why, because we coined you the meat dude, but every now and then somebody will throw in the meat man, and I don't know why that one strikes me as uncomfortable. Does the meat man think it's important to set steaks out ahead of grilling so that they're room temperature first?
do I think it's important? I'll say it this way. You will be able to tell a difference in your eating experience if you do let your steak come to room temperature before throwing it on the grill. Is that something that I practice every single time I grill? No, just because, like everybody, you forget, you get busy, you got to quickly cook. But I think it does create a better eating experience when you do let them steaks come up to room temperature mostly just the drastic cold meat on a hot grill type scenario, where if you bring it up to room temperature, it's not quite of a shock. And I know from personal experience that there is quite a bit difference between throwing on, refrigerated temperature meat versus meat that was brought up to room temperature.
What's the reason? I mean, is it just a chemical of as far as it's gotten back to that other temp? I mean, what gives it the difference as experience, I guess?
It's just a temperature thing. I mean, imagine putting something cold into something extremely hot, or vice versa, right? There's a lot more humidity and shock that happens on anything. So if you can bring that steak up to room temperature, which is, 65, 70 degrees, it's not quite of a jump from 32 to 500 compared to 70 to 500 or whatever it is that you're grilling at.
So does it impact, I don't know if I want to say the texture or the toughness.
Yeah.
I mean, does it keep it is it more tender this way?
I don't like to throw out the word tender, but it's got a better mouthfeel. Let's put it that way.
Texture. Can we settle on texture? That's what I'll go with. Okay. Another one for you. Tyler asks Spencer how to do a brisket. He probably has answered this in the past, but just a general question about, what do you prefer when you do a brisket?
Well, start with your rub, whatever that is. My go-to, salt, pepper, garlic, as always. You're going to want to, same thing what we just talked about, letting that brisket kind of mellow out. Don't throw it on your smoker when it's still at 32 degrees, but give yourself at least 10 hours while cooking a brisket, depending on what size of brisket you have. Obviously, that can differ, but 180 to 220, anywhere's in there. If you can keep your grill at that temperature for the first, I'd say 6 hours of barbecuing, and that's just open face on the grill. Once you're at that 6 to 7 hour mark, stick a thermometer in it. If you're pushing that 170, 180, you've already set your smoke. Everything's there. Everything's in your favor. So at that point, you want to take it off, wrap it. And the whole wrapping thing, there's a couple different options. I used to just use plain tinfoil back when I was cooking a whole bunch at a time for barbecue boot camp events. There's also a special barbecuer's paper. It's pink paper that is pretty unique because it keeps in the moisture, but smoke can penetrate through it if you're going to try to continue to smoke it. And then throw it back on for 3 to 4 hours. And that final internal temperature that you're looking for is between 195 and 205. It's beef has a higher, it takes longer for beef collagen to break down. Or like pork, 165 to 180, you see collagen starting to break down. But beef, it's important to get it closer to that 200 to get that tender brisket, because it is full of collagen, and what you're trying to do is break that collagen down enough so that it's the mouthfeel and texture is tender, but it still holds together.
That pink paper, do you just get that at, say, your Home and Hardware, or because I don't know that I've ever just stumbled across that, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think I have either. Obviously, I have some suppliers that I can get this stuff from, but with the Shields Home and Hardware and everything, and that is getting so much more into barbecue out in Fargo, I'm sure they're probably starting to stock it, but I'm not sure where to get it, honestly.
Yeah, I've noticed that particular location. They have every brand you can about think of over there. They got their free plug. That's enough for today. Another message comes into 35270. If you have questions for Spencer Wirt, he's our meat dude every Thursday at this time. Tyler, does Spencer think prime beef is worth the extra money, or is choice good enough for steaks in particular?
That is a great question. So whenever you're looking at price of meat based on a quality grade, think of it as an insurance policy. You're paying a higher premium for a prime steak because it's harder for you to screw it up. There's more fat in it, so that it's going to be juicy and the flavor is going to be there. Where as you trickle down to your choices and selects, there's less fat there, so it takes a little more intricate work while you're cooking it to create a good meal. Where so essentially what I'm saying is there a price difference and is it worth it? Yes, but choice, if cooked correctly, can be just as good as prime. But prime, at the end of the day, is top dog for a reason, and there's a reason you're paying a premium for that quality of meat. And like I said, it's a good way to look at it as an insurance policy that you, as the cooker, have less of a chance to screw it up at home.
So I'm taking notes as far as, okay, next time I have people over, if I don't want to ruin the meal, I better just pay the extra money, get that prime beef. Messages 35270. You send them in. Spencer Worth, the Meat Dude, takes them. If you want to call the Laney studio line, 237-5948. Tyler, what is your preferred method of cooking a prime rib roast? Comes in.
My preferred method or yours?
Yours. Believe me, they don't care about my opinion on cooking methods.
What my go-to over the past 5 years, and every Christmas with my in-laws, we cook prime rib. Is always the sear and then, or I should say, roast and then lower the temperature and cook it for, depending on the poundage. So cranking the oven as high as it can possibly go, which is usually about 550, I think, on most ovens, and letting that rib roll get a nice crust on it for about 30 minutes. I'll keep it at that 500 degrees or 550, whatever it is, the top max of an oven, and then lower that temperature to about 300, and then it's, I think 10 minutes per pound. So if you're cooking a 8-pound prime rib, that's 80 minutes plus the 30 to get that nice crust on it right away. I've always had really good luck with it. The color sometimes isn't as perfect. I'm kind of particular with this kind of stuff, but the nice pink color when you cook it that way isn't throughout from end to end. There's usually a little bit of a brown because that edge gets a little more cooked than the inside, where the other method that's really popular is doing the exact opposite, where you actually keep the temperature low, bring it up to about rare, so 120, 125, and then blast it with high heat to trap all the moisture in the roast. And I've only done it that way once. I've had really good luck with the roast first and then bring the temperature down and cook. But those are probably my go-to. Lately, I've just been throwing it on the smoker and creating an awesome meal that way, too. So
take the easy way out. That's the way I roll, man. I hope everyone had their pen and paper handy today, because class has certainly been in session. But there's a follow-up question on the pink paper. People are telling me where you can certainly go get those. But just to reiterate, this question comes in. So the pink paper, so put the meat in the pink paper, put it back on the grill? Question mark, question mark, question mark. If you can't find pink paper, the next option, please. And you said it was tinfoil?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yep. So you're going to wrap it and put it back on the grill at that same temperature, the 200 degrees or 220, wherever you're keeping it at, and then put it back on the grill. So yeah, the second option would be tinfoil. Tinfoil, obviously. So the end goal here of wrapping meat at any point in any cooking process is to trap all of the humidity around it. So we touched base on this probably a month ago, but the higher the humidity, the faster the cook. The lower the humidity, the slower the cook. So we already cooked with a low humidity for the first 6 hours, and now we're going to trap all that moisture that's coming off of the roast with either tinfoil or pink paper to essentially continue the cooking process, which is tenderizing it.
Spencer, my man, I didn't even get a chance to ask my questions. Let's do this again next week. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
I'll let you go, man. Appreciate it. Spencer Worth, the Meat Dude. I got to get you caught up with KFGO News. Rusty Halverson, that's next.
Thank you. If the KFGO table could be a little quiet over here.
Sorry. We're talk show hosts.
Grateful for this turnout. Good Lord, you guys showed up. Thank you. Give yourself a round of applause. Thursday night at Bar 9, and I want to thank Bar 9 for allowing us to come here, give a trigger away. Tip your waiters and waitresses, please. They are busting tail here. Standing room only, so thank you, thank you, thank you. So what's about to happen right now, you've all come and registered. Eric Johnson is diligently spinning this golden drum. And I do mean very diligently. And in a moment, I'm going to read a name, and that name needs to be present to win. And if your name's called, I want you to yell very loudly and then come get your tray. All right, you ready? Let's do it. For those of you that can't see, well, my hand is now going into the golden drum. I have pulled one name. Courtney? Yep. Courtney? Yeah, you can hear a pin drop. That's great. Courtney Lavanda? Courtney, get on up here. All right. Hey. Congratulations.
So today on MSUM campus we're doing an ice jam, which is we're combining a bunch of percussion instruments with ice instruments, which are also going to be used in a percussive form. We're going to hit them with mallets, hammers, all those types of things. Today is all improv, so we're all just kind of working with ideas that we just kind of think of as we go, and we kind of play off each other, and it's fun to collaborate but also have a sense of independence.
Thanks for watching News and Views on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like our page, and send us a text anytime at 35270.
Jail in the murders of 3 people, including an unborn child, in Millbank in northeastern South Dakota. The South Dakota Division of Criminal Investigation says Millbank police were sent to a home to check on the people living there. They found 2 people dead. One of them was a woman who was pregnant. State agents were called to the scene. Arrested was 57-year-old Brent Hansen of Millbank. He is in jail on $5 million cash-only bond. The names of the victims and a motive have not been released. A Jamestown, North Dakota police officer is recovering from injuries after he was assaulted while responding to a mental health call. Police were called to a department. A mental health professional asked for an officer. Family members of the man also went to the apartment, and a fight eventually broke out, with the man punching a relative in the neck and face. The officer tried to break up the fight, and the man eventually started punching him. The officer was taken to a hospital for minor facial injuries, and the man was arrested. A New York Mills, Minnesota police officer has died of COVID-19 complications. Officer Ron Smith died after a 14-year law enforcement career. Smith was admitted to Lakewood Health System in Staples on November 26 and was later transferred to Duluth, where he was put on a ventilator. The Salvation Army is again teamed with Cloverdale Foods and Hornbachers in Fargo-Moorhead in West Fargo to provide a donation of over $10,000 for Christmas food boxes. Hornbacher's president Matt Elisa says it's the 13th year of the partnership. Salvation Army Major Abe Tamayo.
We're seeing an up in our numbers, of course, people asking for requests. We see families in more dire situations. And, of course, the colder it gets, the tougher it gets for family, utility bills and rents, all those types of things. So the need is always there. So it's just really especially nice to give them a full Christmas dinner, that they can come together as a family, enjoy that day in abundance, and then go on with what they need, whatever services we can provide to them. We're sure to do that.
An estimated 740 food boxes will contain hams from Cloverdale this holiday season. Near 10 for the high this afternoon. Fargo-Moorhead, partly to mostly sunny. Northwest winds continuing to decrease. 2 below overnight, partly cloudy. We'll have some snow likely move in tomorrow. High of 12. Snow ending tomorrow night. 2 below. 1 to 3 inches of snow accumulation tomorrow through tomorrow night. And partly sunny on Saturday, 6 above. Mostly sunny and 8. Paul Juergens, News Radio KFGO.
Rusty Halverson in the KFGO studio.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
How have we been today?
Good.
Good?
No broken limbs or sprained anything?
Nobody fractured a tailbone last night on the ice?
Nope.
It was a lot of fun.
I call that a success.
A success, yeah. Great success. When you and Eric both had hats on, it was very hard to distinguish between the two red-bearded guys with Santa hats on, I do have to say.
You must not have been looking much below neck then, because it's pretty easy to distinguish the two of us from that point.
Yeah.
I think I'm about 2.5 Rusty.
Yeah, Rusty Halverson weighing in at $170 over here while he's got a wet towel on.
Yeah.
What's your secret, man?
I don't know, genetics, I guess.
Clean living? It's clean living, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, just no buns. I just eat the meat, eat the salads, the fruits, the veggies, all the things. Okay.
I am down with that. Yeah.
Especially the meats involved.
Oh, right? Yeah.
That's not why I called you in here. We've been digressing a lot today.
Yeah, that's all right.
And it's only been 35 minutes of the show, so wait till 4:30 rolls around when Proof Artisan Distillers are in the studio. Yeah, we'll talk about some warm cocktails for tomorrow. I'm tailgating. It's going to be cold out there.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Audibles at 4:10 today?
Audibles, 4:10.
Okay.
You be right back in that chair. I'll save it for you.
All right.
You've been talking with some people about trade. We've talked about trade more than I would have liked to over the last, 6 years. And here we are. What's the latest here? Because we kind of have that, well, are we doing well? Are we not doing well? Have they met expectations? What did you learn today?
Well, a new report from the Corn Refiners Association released this week showing the U.S. is behind when it comes to reducing global trade barriers, and we're behind other competitors out there. That report tracking trade deals since 2010, and it found that several nations have outpaced the U.S. in the creation of new bilateral and multilateral trade agreements. Corn Refiners Association President and CEO John Bodie.
Over the last 10 years, U.S. progress on new trade agreements has been very modest, and the outlook is not promising. Does that mean we're standing still, or are we falling behind because the rest of the world is moving forward while we sit on the sidelines? The answer is clear. Rival trading nations have rapidly expanded trade opportunities through bilateral and multilateral trade arrangements.
Now, while the U.S. has completed 4 trade agreements since 2010, Tyler, one of those would be USMCA, the updated NAFTA. Around the world, China entering into 10 new trade deals, Japan 7, the EU and Canada entering into 8, and there's a little bit of frustration on Capitol Hill about the situation.
Well, yeah, and this dates back to 2010 because it's easy for me to go ahead and start punching down at the last administration because of their approach to trade, which I think was kind of, we are, kings of the hill here. We're just going to go about doing things on our own. And I don't think that approach, where they're trying to find a partner, I mean, that's what this trade is. We're partnering with somebody to exchange goods and services and all that.
And again, either bilateral with one other country or multilateral, a lot of countries.
Correct. And then there was an appearance then that even some of the stuff that we had given you weren't on the Trans-Pacific Partnership, one of those multilateral ones. And all of a sudden we pull out of that and we try to go at China on our own. It's kind of, who are we dealing with here? How are we going to deal with that?
I'm glad you brought that up. When it comes to TPP, we were in Kansas City many, many years ago for the convention, and there were, I believe, 8 different commodity organizations represented on a stage. This was prior to the election when Donald Trump won. There were 8 different organizations saying, we really want this trade deal. We really, really want this trade deal. That's the most broad-based kind of coalition that I've ever seen pushing for a trade deal. And it's not for me to say, but it seems like that deal fell victim to presidential politics on both sides of the aisle.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it didn't come to fruition. Now some of those went and worked amongst themselves.
Yep.
And now we're on the outside looking in. And because of some of the other disputes, I mean, China has entered into 10 new trade agreements while we've got 4. They've been building markets in places like Brazil and having some of that. So it's not an ideal spot to be in.
Yeah, and maybe this report is well-timed because we're coming up on a new calendar year. Maybe it's time to get those wheels in motion.
Yeah, well, part of that would take appointing people to offices, which one of the complaints I have with this administration is they have been so slow in getting people appointed. We have acting USDA directors. We have acting U.S. attorneys. I mean, they have not come out and appointed the people that are going to go out and do the work of this, in my opinion, right now.
You are not the only one that has that opinion.
Oh, okay. Now, oftentimes I'm told in this when I'm sitting in this chair that nobody agrees with you. So I'm glad somebody out there does, at least on this one topic.
We can talk about that next hour.
Okay. I'll save that spot for you. Very good. That was a tease that I just walked into on accident.
Absolutely.
Rusty Halverson, him and Sarah Heinrich, multi-award winning journalists. You go to KFGO.com, click on that agriculture tab for more there. CBS National News on the way. More Afternoons Live right after this.
Thanks for watching News and Views on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like our page. And send us a text anytime at 35270.
Well, we're doing a food giveaway event to the community. A lot of people are facing food insecurity at this time. As we can tell, we had to start about an hour early because we just had so many people lined up. So as people come up and they need whatever they need, volunteers are taking care of it. It's all contactless, so nobody has to get out. And just making sure whatever the greatest need. We're just getting the greatest good. We're going until the food is out. As people are coming in, if they need 2 boxes and 2 gallons of milk, that's what we're giving. We don't want to leave anybody out.
I was in the hospital, and I saw a flyer on the wall. And all the nurses were talking about taking people down there to get food and stuff. I got out last night, the hospital last night, and I said, man, I'm going to do this. When I came from Williston here, I lived on these streets for 3 years, caring. And that's what this is. That's the way I see it. Very helpful. I think it's going to be very helpful because I know people that are doing without.
I think it's truly remarkable how much need there is out there. Like I said, we were going to start at noon, but we had so many people lined up. We started at 11, and volunteers have been working their tail off since then. I'm thankful for that. I think this shows that there is some huge needs in the community, and we got some things we got to address.
So today on MSUM campus, we're doing an ice jam, which is we're combining a bunch of percussion instruments with ice instruments, which are also going to be used in a percussive form. We're going to hit them with mallets, hammers, all those types of things. Today is all improv, so we're all just kind of working with ideas that we just kind of think of as we go, and we kind of play off each other, and it's fun to collaborate but also have a sense of independence.
Rusty Halverson here with another Don Agri News Radio.
Hey, this is Abby Miller with the
Derek
Mighty
Hansen,
790.
Couch Potato Radio. Did you see that
from It Takes Two.
Doug Miller with the morning crew this morning.
Jerkins News Radio.
Amy Eiler with It Takes Two.
This is Jack Michaels, Voice of Sports.
Too tall,
Joel Heitkamp here on the Mighty
Sarah Heinrich.
Tyler Axis, your host.
The Mighty 790 and 104.7 FM KFGO. The names you know, the voices you trust.
Why do I like ice fishing so much? I don't know, to me it's just something I enjoy and just a hobby that I've been into for quite a few years, and I'm not necessarily good at it, but I enjoy it. It's fun. It's good time to get out and hang out with all your buddies and just get away from reality for a little while. First time that I ever went ice fishing, I was like 6 or 7, and I actually felt
Quick reminder, tomorrow we're going to be at Buffalo Wild Wings on 19th Avenue doing the show, sponsored by Walmart Truck Centers. They are hiring, by the way. We do have a pair of tickets that we'll be giving away for tomorrow's game as well. I do see that there's a few available, certainly nothing like the quietness of the Dome that was last Saturday, which is a good sign because the atmosphere was terrible. And I suspect that tomorrow night's going to be a lot of fun. But if you want a last chance to get a pair of tickets, join us, Buffalo Wild Wings, from 2 to 5 tomorrow. Then we're going over tailgating. Dress accordingly. A high of 12. Possibility of 1 to 3 inches. More on that later. I want to get to the text clip here. We just had our conversation with Rusty Halverson about trade and how the United States is, quite frankly, over the last 11 years, fallen behind in coming up with other agreements compared to other countries. And I made the comment that it's tough to have some of this moving forward at the rate of which I hope it would when you don't have people in your appointed seats. And this message came in, Tyler, so the GOP and the Senate isn't slowing down the appointment process at all. It's all Biden. Okay, my bad. And that's sent in from John, who signed this. But here's the thing. In some of these cases, the administration hasn't even nominated anybody, so you can't put that on the GOP Senate. Now, if they throw out the nomination and, meaning the administration, say, I nominate this person to serve in this capacity, and then the GOP does their road blocking, then by all means, yeah, we can put it on. But it's not egg-related, but in this moment, I'm thinking U.S. attorneys. I mean, in North Dakota here, we have an acting U.S. attorney. They haven't even nominated somebody for that role. So those nominations haven't been coming, in my opinion, quickly enough. We are approaching a year into this administration. I think some of these posts are vitally important to have, to remove that acting part in front of it. And I actually had this conversation, I kid you not, earlier today with somebody out in D.C. about this because I've been frustrated with it. That they haven't been moving fast enough. And they said, Tyler, all right, we'll give you this, but then they threw out a stat that I did not know, but the judges that have been appointed and nominated, appointed, and confirmed during this first year of Joe Biden's presidency has surpassed every administration going back. And this is where I forget exactly what they had told me, but they say that the judges that are being put into position right now in this first year under the Biden administration is at a rapid pace. So basically trying to walk me back from the ledge saying, are they nominating anybody? These important roles are just sitting there right now when you have state directors for vitally important positions. I would say like USDA state director here in North Dakota. So that's where I'm at. By all means, if in fact those nominations come forward and the GOP says, nope, we're not doing anything, then trust me, never shied away from pointing that out. And I hope those individuals that were trying to take me to task on Tuesday saying, geez, how you never say anything bad about the Biden administration are listening yet again today, because this is the latest example of which I think I'm pretty dang fair when it comes to criticisms of things that aren't going the way of which at least I personally would prefer they go. 237-5948, that's the Laney studio line. Text me at 35270 as well, whether it's about trade. Somebody was asking about this James Madison article. Satirical, arrogant, both. We'll talk about that a little bit. Now, I wish the person had put their name to it instead of just by an intelligent sports mind. So I'd like to get this individual onto my own show and talk about this. Recap some of that. I do want to talk about Jim Jordan. I think, why? Why do I care about Jim Jordan? Well, he was one of those people, one of those Republican congressmen that was wanting to serve on the January 6th commission. Nancy Pelosi says, no, you're not going to do that. People on his side of the aisle came to bat for him, saying that he's well within his right to serve here. Kelly Armstrong in North Dakota was one of them. I wonder if he's proud of that endorsement today when Jim Jordan admitted to sending text messages to Mark Meadows, basically telling him to overturn the election results of that fair, legitimate election. We'll talk about that and more coming up on the Thursday edition of Afternoons Live. But first, get this weather update from Too Tall Tom Szymanski.
Thank you. If the KFGO table could be a little quiet over here.
Sorry. We're talk show.
Grateful for this turnout. Good Lord, you guys showed up. Thank you. Give yourself a Thursday night at Bar 9, and I want to thank Bar 9 for allowing us to come here, give a trigger away. Tip your waiters and waitresses, please. They are busting tail here. Standing room only, so thank you, thank you, thank you. So what's about to happen right now, you've all come and registered. Eric Johnson is diligently spinning this golden drum. And I do mean very diligently. And in a moment, I'm going to read a name, and that name needs to be present to win. And if your name's called, I want you to yell very loudly and then come get your tray. All right, you ready? Let's do it. For those of you that can't see, well, my hand is now going into the golden drum. I have pulled one name. Courtney? Yep. Courtney? Yeah, you can hear a pin drop. That's great. Courtney Lavonda? Courtney, get on up here. Courtney, there you are. Congratulations. All right.
Well, we're doing a food giveaway event to the community. A lot of people are facing food insecurity at this time. As we can tell, we had to start about an hour early because we just had so many people lined up. So as people come up and they need whatever they need, volunteers are taking care of it. It's all contactless, so nobody has to get out. Right. And just making sure whatever the greatest need. We're just giving the greatest good. When we're going until the food is out. As people are coming in, if they need 2 boxes and 2 gallons of milk, that's what we're giving. We don't want to leave anybody out.
I was in the hospital, and I saw a flyer on the wall. And all the nurses were talking about taking people down there to get food and stuff. I got out last night. Got out of the hospital last night, and I said, man, I'm going to do this. When I came from Williston here, I lived on these streets for 3 years, caring. And that's what this is. That's the way I see it. Very helpful. I think it's going to be very helpful because I know people that are doing without.
I think it's truly remarkable how much need there is out there. Like I said, we were going to start at noon, but we had so many people lined up. We started at 11, and volunteers have been working their tail off since then. I'm thankful for that. I think this shows that there is some huge needs in the community, and we got some things we got to address.
Robertson here with another
time for Agri News Radio.
Hey, this is Abby Miller with the
Dear
Mighty
Canson Couch
790.
Potato Radio. Did you see that? From It Takes Two. Doug Miller with the morning crew this morning. Jerkins News Radio.
Amy Eiler with It Takes Two.
This is Jack Michaels, Voice of Sports.
Joel
Heitkamp here on the
6 minutes until that 3 o'clock hour strikes. CBS National News. Check back in with Paul Juergens. I'll get here. We'll start this conversation. Jim Jordan. Anyway, he's a guy you probably see on whatever talk show on Fox News now wearing a suit coat from Ohio. The reason why we're bringing him up because as we talk about this January 6th commission, and I know some people are like, oh, I don't care. Well, you know what? That's a shame that you don't care and want to get to the truth about what, in fact, who knew what and when, as you watched and heard right here on KFGO the attack on that Capitol during the certification of a presidency, that peaceful transfer of power, that whole thing. Well, there's a commission that was created, a committee to look into exactly that. It is bipartisan. But remember, those that were selected from Mike McCarthy, the leader of the GOP, he threw out names out there, and some of which weren't serious, some of which didn't have any place serving on that committee because, as we found out today, and as confirmed by Jim Jordan himself, some of them were involved in the lead up to what took place on January 6th. Jim Jordan admitted today, and his staff admitted, so now you've got both he and staff saying, yes, we did, in fact, forward a message on to Mark Meadows the day before, and is outlining some theory. Basically, that laid out to Mike Pence, remember the vice president, who they were really putting pressure on to throw out certified votes, that electoral college. And then I'm summarizing here because I'm not going to read the whole text message to you. That Jim Jordan forwarded on. It's from this website, The Federalist. But in essence, it's saying that Pence did have the ability to say some of these electoral votes are unconstitutional and therefore they don't count, and then taking basically disenfranchising those states of which people were shocked when Biden, and they did, and you can take that to any judge that looked into it because they didn't find anything wrong. You can continue to believe that lie, and it is nothing but a big lie being told. But Jim Jordan was pressuring Mark Meadows to tell Mike Pence, saying, look, the vice president has a role here to basically overthrow this whole election result. And because of that whole little spot and that mentality, Nancy Pelosi had told those members like Jim Jordan that, no, we're not going to seat you on this committee to uncover what happened. Because now, in hindsight, as of today, it looks like Jim Jordan certainly could be a witness called to testify, right? So why would he be on the committee? The reason I bring this up, one, because of that whole behavior, that mentality, but there was an outcry from others that were on that committee because Congressman Kelly Armstrong was also appointed to serve on that. And I think he would have been a great addition to that. But because Jim Jordan and Jim Banks were refused to get seated, he didn't get sat as well. And he came to Jim Jordan's defense. And I'm curious, and we will have a regularly scheduled interview with Congressman Armstrong going forward. NOAA staff's listening. So be prepared when we visit on January 4th that do you still stand by the defense of Jim Jordan, knowing now that he was an integral part in pressuring the vice president to overturn this election? Should he have still had a seat on this commission? Because I am a solid no. But I'm curious what Congressman Armstrong has to say about that. Your thoughts, 35270. You can text those in if you want to call in. Let me have it. Laney's studio line is 237-594, and toll free is 1-800-880-5346. 3 o'clock right around the corner, second hour of Afternoons Live coming up next right here on 790 AM and 104.7 FM KFGO.
Artisan here with another Don of our Agri-News Radio.
Hey, this is Abby Miller with the
Derek
Mighty
Hansen,
790.
Couch Potato Radio. Did you see that? It Takes Two. Doug Miller with the morning crew this morning. Jerkins News Radio.
Katie Eiler with It Takes Two.
This is Jack Michaels, Voices Forces.
Too tall,
Joel Heitkamp here on the Mighty
Sarah Heinrich.
Tyler Axis, your host.
The Mighty 790 and 104.7 FM KFGO. The names you know, the voices you trust.
First off, thank you. If the KFGO table could be a little quiet over here.
Sorry. We're talk show hosts.
Grateful for this turnout. Good Lord, you guys showed up. Thank you. Give yourself a round of applause. Thursday night at Bar 9, I want to thank Bar 9 for allowing us to come here, give a trigger away. Tip your waiters and waitresses, please. They're a busting tail here. Standing room only, so thank you, thank you, thank you. So what's about to happen right now, you've all come and registered. Eric Johnson is diligently spinning this golden drum. And I do mean very diligently. And in a moment, I'm going to read a name, and that name needs to be present to win. And if your name's called, I want you to yell very loudly and then come get your tray. All right, you ready? Let's do it. For those of you that can't see, well, my hand is now going into the golden drum. I have pulled one name. Courtney? Yeah, you can hear a pin drop, that's great. Courtney Lavonda? Courtney, get on up here. Courtney, there you are. Congratulations. Hold up, we're not ready. All right. Hey, congratulations.
So today on MSUM campus we're doing an ice jam, which is we're combining a bunch of percussion instruments with ice instruments, which are also going to be used in a percussive form. We're going to hit them with mallets, hammers, all those types of things. Today is all improv, so we're all just kind of working with ideas that we just kind of think of as we go, and we kind of play off each other, and it's fun to collaborate but also have a sense of independence.
Thanks for watching News and Views on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like our page, and send us a text anytime at 35270.
Well, we're doing a food giveaway event to the community. A lot of people are facing food insecurity at this time. As we can tell, we had to start about an hour early because we just had so many people lined up. So as people come up and they need whatever they need, volunteers are taking care of it. It's all contactless, so nobody has to get out. Right. And just making sure whatever the greatest need. We're just getting the greatest good. We're going until the food is out. As people are coming in, if they need 2 boxes and 2 gallons of milk, that's what we're giving. We don't want to leave anybody out.
I was in the hospital, and I saw a flyer on the wall. And all the nurses were talking about taking people down there to get food and stuff. I got out last night, the hospital last night, and I said, man, I'm going to do this. When I came from Williston here, I lived on these streets for 3 years, caring, and that's what this is. You know, that's the way I see it. Very helpful. I think it's going to be very helpful because I know people that are doing without.
I think it's truly remarkable how much need there is out there. Like I said, we were going to start at noon, but we had so many people lined up. We started at 11, and volunteers have been working their tail off since then. I'm thankful for that. I think this shows that there is some huge needs in the community, and we got some things we got to address.
Why do I like ice fishing so much? I don't know, to me it's just something I enjoy and just a hobby that I've been into for quite a few years, and I'm not necessarily good at it, but I enjoy it. It's fun. It's good time to get out and hang out with all your buddies and just get away from reality for a little while. First time that I ever went ice fishing, I was like 6 or 7, and I actually fell through the ice. We were in a portable ice house, and I was standing in there, and my dad and my uncle Kevin were moving it, and when they pushed it, I wasn't ready for it, and my leg went down the hole. That was fun. It was cold. You can get into hunting and fishing.
.305 is the KFGO time, and I tell you what, the reason why we're playing a little Unplugged from Nirvana, because usually at this time I tell you either what's trending or what happened on this date. And today, in 1993, Nirvana's Unplugged aired on MTV. Back when MTV played music television, it wasn't just Snooki from Jersey Shore. Is that an actual character?
Yeah, that's a thing.
Oh.
That's a thing.
I wanted to say Jersey Mike, but I think that's a sub. Is there a Jersey Mike on the show?
Yeah, Jersey Mikes are, well, there's a Mike, the situation.
Oh, no. I prefer him be called Jersey Mike. Sorry for the franchise sub place.
Yeah. I'm sure not every Unplugged was a home run, but man, there are some good ones.
This one nailed it. Nirvana. If you have not, well, I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere. Probably on Peacock. I think MTV has part of the whole that. So if you have that streaming service, do yourself a favor, at least listen to Nirvana's Unplugged. It is stellar. Good stuff. More Afternoons Live right after we check in with Paul Jurgens at the KFGO News Center.
KFGO News, Fargo-Moorhead, a sunny sky and 8 degrees. A Rochester, Minnesota man was killed last night during the storm. That victim was hit by a section of a tree that snapped and landed on him and his pickup. The man went outside to have a cigarette. Others at the home went downstairs when the warning siren sounded and noticed he was not with them. They found him under the tree next to the truck. The man was identified as 65-year-old Keith Dickman. It appears Dickman died from a head injury. The pickup had been parked near a 40-foot tall tree, and Dickman was hit by a 10-foot section that broke off that tree. A Moorhead man is facing the possibility of life in prison after he agreed to plead guilty to federal sex-related charges. 46-year-old James Van Raden has signed an agreement with federal prosecutors to plead guilty to attempted sex trafficking of children and 2 counts of distributing child pornography. The case began in 2019 when Van Raden responded to an ad from an undercover West Fargo police detective who was acting as a father looking for a tutor for his 10-year-old daughter. Van Raden agreed to pay $500 and was told he could have the girl for as long as he needed. He was also accused of sending photos of a naked child through an online app. A Millbank, South Dakota man is jailed on $5 million cash-only bond for the murders of 2 people and an unborn child in Millbank. 57-year-old Brent Hansen was arrested after police and Grant County deputies found the bodies of the people in a home. A woman was pregnant. State Division of Criminal Investigation agents are assisting in the case. The victims' names and a potential motive have not been released. As the defense begins calling its witnesses in Kim Potter's manslaughter trial in Minneapolis, the former Brooklyn Center officer has again said that she will take the witness stand.
Ms. Potter, do you still want to testify or have you changed your mind?
Yes, Your Honor, I'll testify.
Okay. And you don't need any more time to think about that?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
Judge Regina Chu asked Potter to confirm her intention to testify. It isn't known when Potter will speak to the jury. North Dakota's 8 largest airports had more than 83,000 airline passenger boardings last month. That is a 95% increase from November 2020. Fargo's Hector International Airport had nearly 38,000 passengers for its best November ever. Fargo-Moorhead, we are at 8, and we look for a high of about 10 this afternoon. Winds continuing to decrease out of the northwest. Partly cloudy to below overnight, light west wind, and then light from the north. Tomorrow, 12 above, mostly cloudy. Looks like we'll see some snow moving in. Snow continuing into tomorrow night, 2 below, with accumulation locally of 1 to 3 inches tomorrow through tomorrow night. 6 for the high, partly sunny on Saturday. 8 degrees now. Paul Jerkins, News Radio, KFGO.
Typically at this time, Vision Ford of Wahpeton, North Dakota, brings to you Paul Allen, the voice of the Minnesota Vikings, but because they've got Monday Night Football, schedule's a little off. He said, look, how about we just do the pregame of the pregame on Monday night? So we're going to be visiting with Paul Allen Monday instead of today, but I do want to thank Vision Ford for allowing us to bring to you the voice of your Minnesota Vikings right here on KFGO, and he does enjoy taking your questions. So keep those in mind as you watch everything unfold Sunday and what that means for the playoff implications for the still not out of it Minnesota Vikings. Actually, the last week, it could hardly have gone better aside from an overtime win when it comes to the Niners beating the Bengals, because you had Washington football team lose, Carolina Panthers lose, somebody else I think lost. So they're still in that wild card hunt. I think they're just one loss away. Obviously, they got to take care of things in front of them, but they're not out of it. Sure, it's a stretch, but it's possible. And the way the season has gone for dang near every team in the league, I wouldn't count any given week off, because you have had some of the Vikings. Here's a figure for you. The Vikings have beat the top-ranked team in the NFC when it comes to the Green Bay Packers, but they have lost to the worst-ranked team also in the NFC, and your Detroit Lions. So you could go any way when it comes to this team. But we'll visit with him a little bit more about that on Monday, so keep that in mind. I do want to talk just briefly about the NFL as a whole while I got you here, though. We are, on week 15? And sure, you've had some pop-up cases here or there across the league. Somebody ends up on the COVID-19 reserve list. Depending on whether they're vaccinated or not, just how long they were deemed out for. And you were still getting this whole schedule to go basically on without a hitch. Nobody had to forfeit a game. Nobody, you had, at times some key players that had said, Aaron Rodgers being one of them. Don't need to rehash all that. But right now with week 15, things seem to be accelerating in the wrong way. I don't know what the latest figure was, but I thought I had seen like 50-some different players and coaches and staff this week alone have tested positive. So earlier today, the NFL, along with the NFL Players Association, did change their COVID protocols, masking in all aspects of your day-to-day, not allowing outside guests coming when you are on the road. I mean, everything's kind of clamping back down when it comes to the NFL because you are so close. All these games, as I was just telling you with the Minnesota Vikings, have huge playoff implications. But terrible time. They were going off just as smoothly as what you could expect, and I'm sure Roger Goodell was as happy as anyone could be with the product because the product itself on the field has been pretty entertaining every single week. But to have this kind of hiccup right now at this time, not ideal. And one last thing, and then I'll switch gears here. Urban Meyer. Not even a full calendar year as the head coach down in Jacksonville. Could you have had a worse year? Has there ever been a head coach in the NFL that has had as bad of an entrance in the NFL as Urban Meyer did? in Jacksonville this year because you had the bar thing. If you don't know, you're not going to learn about it here on a family-friendly show. But there's a bar thing.
His dancing in his off time.
And he was in close proximity to a young individual who was dancing. So there was that. Just the other week, as a head coach, and now mind you, Urban Meyers goes to classrooms and teaches about leadership, and he has a PowerPoint of what has a dysfunctional environment. And it seems as though he was able to describe what is a dysfunctional environment because he has created it, at least down in Jacksonville. But he gathered all of the other coaches saying, all right, I want you to defend your record to me because I'm a winner here, you're a loser. Now I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty much the feel of what Urban Meyers brought to his coaching staff.
It feels like the craziness extends even further because I've heard reports of him kicking his place kicker.
That's good. I was getting there.
Okay, I didn't
because you had the bar, you had the unusual alpha male move.
Yeah, of you're a loser.
You know what?
I'm a winner.
I'm a winner. Who do you think you are? I am. That mentality. I hope you get that reference. It's a bowling reference, actually. And then, yes, the revelation that came up publicly, and I want to point out publicly, just overnight, that he kicked his kicker in the hamstring.
While he was practicing, is the way I understood it.
I think, yeah, because he missed a kick. So I don't know if he was... But so you have a head coach kicking your kicker in the hamstring during practice. And here's the thing, why I say publicly, because I do believe the ownership knew about this because it happened like 4 months ago. So the fact that now it came up publicly, it's like, well, we better cut ties with this guy. It just ain't working so well. So don't let the door hit you, Urban Meyer. So now the question will be, because that was a 5-year contract, and I know there's a lot of people listening saying, Tyler, I just don't quite care. I can understand with this. If you're saying I don't care about that whole insurrection that happened, then you and I are going to be at button heads here. And I'll move on. I give you my word. I want to talk about ugly sweaters before we go to Devil's Lake. Not that you get your ugly sweaters in Devil's Lake. But 5-year contract. They fired him because of the misconduct. Does he still get paid?
Probably not, because most of those NFL contracts have the conduct detrimental to the team clause.
Well, I think there's at least 2 of the 3 instances I just told you that are quite detrimental to the team.
Yeah.
So this would free him up to go back to maybe... Would you hire him as a coach?
All the college jobs that he was speculated to take as Jacksonville was flaming out have been filled.
Yeah, I know. So they were speculating Urban Meyers for Jacksonville and Matt Rule from Carolina. Boy, let me tell you about Matt Rule. How much time you have?
Yeah, let's see. It's 3:15. So we got another hour and 45.
Okay, I'll spare you. I'll spare you, but if you join me up at Buffalo Wild Wings tomorrow, you might not be so lucky. I'll get you ready for the game as a wallow in pity of my professional team.
We need to get you a sandwich board that just says Hot Carolina Takes, and you can go walk around tailgating with it, just screaming about how terrible your team is this year.
Sandwich board, huh?
Yeah.
Why would I need a sandwich board?
That says Hot Carolina Takes on it.
And I spin it around and I go and talk?
Whatever you want to do, just to draw some attention to you so that people will listen.
I really... Tyler, I better preface this. Sometimes you recognize some of the numbers that come in, and sometimes some of them are quite jokesters. So okay, I'm gonna give you a shot. Tyler Urban sounds like a real Leitner, going around pointing at people, then himself loser, 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 winner. Yes, that is a real Leitner move. Thank you. Thanks for bringing up Christian Leitner to my mind. On a Thursday afternoon, it is 3:17 KFGO time. Take a quick break here. Ugly sweaters. There is a distinction between buying a sweater that it was made to look ugly or buying a sweater that at some point the manufacturer said, hey, this is a stylish sweater, and now in 2021 it's quite ugly, and you get to wear it and actually win some things. We'll talk about that. Also, Tanner Cherney, Devil's Lake Tourism coming up after KFGO News. Audibles, Proof, Artisan, Distillers. A fun Thursday afternoon in store for you. Keep it locked in to KFGO Fargo.
So today on MSUM campus, we're doing an ice jam, which is we're combining a bunch of percussion instruments with ice instruments, which are also going to be used in a percussive form. We're going to hit them with mallets, hammers, all those types of things. Today is all improv, so we're all just kind of working with ideas that we just kind of think of as we go, and we kind of play off each other, and it's fun to collaborate but also have a sense of independence.
Robertson here with another News Radio.
Hey, this is Abby Miller with the
Derek
Mighty
Hansen,
790.
Couch Potato Radio. Did you see that? From It Takes Two. Doug Miller with the morning crew this morning. Jerkins News Radio.
Amy Eiler with It Takes Two.
This is Jack Michaels, Voice of Sports.
Too tall,
Joel Heitkamp here on the Mighty
Sarah
7.
Heinrich.
Tyler Axis, your host.
The Mighty 790 and 104.7 FM KFGO. The names you know, the voices you trust.
Thanks for watching News and Views on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like our page, and send us a text anytime at 35270.
Why do I like ice fishing so much? I don't know, to me it's just something I enjoy and just a hobby that I've been into for quite a few years, and I'm not necessarily good at it, but I enjoy it. It's fun. It's good time to get out and hang out with all your buddies and just get away from reality for a little while. First time that I ever went ice fishing, I was like 6 or 7, and I actually fell through the ice. We were in a portable ice house, and I was standing in there, and my dad and my uncle Kevin were moving it, and when they pushed it, I wasn't ready for it, and my leg went down the hole. That was fun. It was cold. You can get into hunting and fishing and stuff like that relatively cheap, and it's just like buying a vehicle. You can spend thousands and thousands of dollars, or you can just go to Walmart and get enough stuff and go out and do it, and you can be just as successful as the people that spend all the money on it. North Bros Outdoors, yeah, me and a buddy of mine, Jacob Enixon, we went to high school together, and we actually had the idea back in high school to make an outdoors page, just hunting and fishing, four-wheeling, anything outdoors basically. A lot of it right now, it's really, really heavily based on ice fishing, and this fall it was heavily based on deer hunting and bow hunting and rifle season too. So yeah, just kind of an outdoors group, and we call ourselves North Bros Outdoors. We've got a Facebook, an Instagram, and a YouTube channel. There's plenty of brands out there that you can get into it. If you're questioning it and you want to do it. You won't regret it. The outdoors it's awesome.
Well, we're doing a food giveaway event to the community. A lot of people are facing food insecurity at this time. As we can tell, we had to start about an hour early because we just had so many people lined up. So as people come up and they need whatever they need, volunteers are taking care of it. It's all contactless, so nobody has to get out, and just making sure whatever the greatest need. We're just giving the greatest good. When we're going until the food is out. As people are coming in, if they need 2 boxes and 2 gallons of milk, that's what we're giving. We don't want to leave anybody out.
I was in the hospital.
KFGO time 3:22. This is Afternoons Live. I'm Tyler Exodus, your host. Eric Johnson, our producer. We're going to be with you till that 5 o'clock punch out. Just heard that Proof Artisan Distillers is going to be in studio. We'll tell you about some of those warm cocktails. It'll warm me up as I'm looking at highs of 6, 10, 12. Yeah, it'll be a cold one going forward. We knew it was coming. It's finally upon us. Been kind of spoiled. I tell you one place that's happy, Devil's Lake, North Dakota. Tanner Cherney of Devil's Lake Tourism going to join us in just a little bit here. I want to talk just briefly about ugly sweaters. It used to be a thing to where you either had to create or go find a sweater that at one time there was some visionary either in a board office or on a line behind a sewing machine, perhaps with knitting needles, that constructed a sweater of which they were proud. And at the time was probably quite enticing to the eyes. You know, that's a lovely sweater you've got. I did wear it from time to time, especially during the holiday season, because it was festive. It captured the mood of the holidays. Over time, however, our tastes change in attire and what is in, what's a fad, what is something that's going to live the test of time. Unfortunately for those sweaters of which I reference, they do not meet the test of time, and now we call them ugly sweaters. But they were not made to be ugly. They just turned out to be ugly in our mind's eye now at this point in time. If you have an ugly sweater contest, you better be wearing and finding one of those sweaters. That was never created just to simply be ugly, but turned ugly over the course of time. Because you can go now. I'm on my soapbox, you can't tell. You can go now to any store. You can go to any brand. You can go to, pick any brewer. I mean, you could probably buy an ugly Bush Light Christmas sweater. The thing is, they made it with the intent of they're just going to make a quick buck. So somebody who likes that brand of whatever, Star Wars is another one, and then have that sweater that's compiled in a way to where it's not necessarily ugly. It's not attractive, don't get me wrong. You're probably not wearing it on any other given day besides your ugly sweater contest or your holiday party. Those do not count. If I'm the judge of said Christmas ugly sweater, you guys are all lucky in this building. I'm going to be at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Will you be wearing said ugly sweater, or are you in green and gold tomorrow?
Do you have a UND sweatshirt I could borrow?
No. I do have UND sweatshirts, not one you can borrow.
Just angered half the audience, but so be it. Boom. No, I'm not going to be. I'll be wearing, I'll be wearing some Bison attire as I'm talking about the Bison James Madison game, previewing it at Buffalo Wild Wings, brought to you by Wallwork Truck Center. However, in this building, there's going to be an ugly sweater contest. Mm-hmm. Somebody's judging it. They didn't ask me, but be warned that had you purchased one that's from some, fad, some company that's, it's an ugly sweater. That's really not. It's made to look cool. That does not count. That should not have this. It's the same for me like a white chicken chili entering a chili contest. They are not the same. You hold them to different standards. So 3 years ago, did we really start doing this to where the
industry exploded, and that feels about right. Maybe it was a year or two before that, but it felt like the fun of going to a thrift store and finding something that somebody's aunt or grandma made that was intended to be very festive. And
the ugly sweater, of which I have used from time to time, was at a thrift store.
Mm-hmm.
It is big wooden buttons on a very knitted up green sweater. Right. And I believe it's probably a woman's sweater.
It's a unisex. I mean, if it fits you, it's unisex.
I don't know what rack I grabbed it from at that store. I'm like, this is quite hideous. I will wear this. And it comes up, it's like a 3/4 sleeve.
Ooh, nice.
But then you add things too at times. Now that counts. But the pre-made ones from whatever company, just to be cool, don't count. No. This message nails it. Tyler, my son, wore my husband's favorite sweater to high school for Ugly Sweater Day and won. See, I'm curious, what of that sweater was your husband's favorite, and what made it so hideous this day and age? Hey, you know what? We've got an email. I'm going to text you back. I want to see this sweater, and you can email it to the studio here of After News Live. I'm going to get you caught up with KFGO News. Paul Jurgen's been diligently working across the hall. He'll give you all the latest. We'll check back in with Rusty Halverson. Then Tanner Turney, Devil's Eye Tourism. That's all coming up next.
Thanks for watching News and Views on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like our page. And send us a text anytime at 35270.
First off, thank you. If the KFGO table could be a little quiet over here.
Sorry. We're talk show hosts.
Grateful for this turnout. Good Lord, you guys showed up. Thank you. Give yourself a round of applause. Thursday night at Bar 9, and I want to thank Bar 9 for allowing us to come here, give a trigger away. Tip your waiters and waitresses, please. They are busting tails here. Standing room only, so thank you, thank you, thank you. So what's about to happen right now, you've all come and registered. Eric Johnson is diligently spinning this golden drum. And I do mean very diligently. And in a moment, I'm going to read a name, and that name needs to be present to win. And if your name's called, I want you to yell very loudly and then come get your tray. All right, you ready? Let's do it. For those of you that can't.
KFGO News, Fargo-Moorhead. It is sunny and 8 degrees. I'm Paul Juergens. A man is in jail in the murders of 3 people, including an unborn child in Millbank in northeastern South Dakota. The Division of Criminal Investigation says Millbank police were sent to a home to check on the people living there. They found 2 people dead. One of them was a woman who was pregnant. State agents were called to that scene. Arrested was 57-year-old Brent Hansen of Millbank. He's facing 3 counts of first-degree murder and 3 counts of second-degree murder. Hansen is in custody on $5 million cash-only bond. The names of the victims and a motive have not been established. A New York Mills, Minnesota police officer has died of COVID-19 complications. Officer Ron Smith died after a 14-year law enforcement career. Smith was admitted to Lakewood Health System in Staples on November 26th, that is, and was later transferred to Duluth, where he was put on a ventilator. North Dakota's commercial airports continue to see increased passenger boardings. Fargo set a record last month for November boardings with nearly 38,000 passengers. There were 83,000 boardings statewide. While that is down from November 2019 before the pandemic, they were up 95% over November of last year. Cal Water is the commission's executive director.
A lot of forecasters, if you go back a year from now and ask, how long it was going to take to recover, a lot of the forecasters were looking at around 2023. And so at this rate, we might actually be able to recover fully in North Dakota by the end of 2022. Obviously, that means a lot of different things have to go right for the industry, but we're definitely trending in the right direction.
Partly sunny, it's 8 degrees. This is KFGO News. Eight degrees. This is KFGO News. Kim Potter's police chief at the time she shot and killed Daunte Wright has testified at her manslaughter trial, calling Potter a fine officer and saying how he saw no violation of policy in Potter's actions at the scene. Tim Gannon resigned as chief in Brooklyn Center 2 days after the April shooting. He testified that he was forced out because he would not immediately fire Potter. Potter resigned the same day. Gannon said that he looked at body camera video right after the shooting and body squad video recently and said he saw no violation of policy in Potter's actions at that shooting scene. The Detroit Lakes School District is warning parents of a national TikTok challenge encouraging students to report false threats to schools tomorrow. Superintendent Mark Jensen says the best defense is with students, families, and community to report anything unusual or alarming they may see or hear. The Department of Public Safety has made law enforcement agencies around the state aware of the national threat circulating on social media. Law enforcement has not determined the threat as credible. A North Dakota Powerball player has claimed the $100,000 Powerball prize from the December 11th drawing. The winner, who is from Williston, is choosing to remain anonymous and says they plan to use the winnings to pay off some bills and enjoy not having to worry about them anymore. The Powerball jackpot for the Saturday drawing is $353 million. Fargo-Moorhead, partly cloudy tonight. Meteorologist Tom Shemansky is expecting a low of about 2 below zero. Will be mostly cloudy tomorrow. Some light snow is expected, high of 12. Light snow continues into tomorrow night, 2 below, with a locally accumulation in the 1 to 3 inch range. 6 at 6 degrees, partly sunny on Saturday. Mostly cloudy Sunday, about 22, and then Monday, only 10, partly sunny. 8 degrees, Fargo-Moorhead, Paul Jerkins, News Radio, KFGO.
Sometimes I just get lost in the music and forget that I'm supposed to introduce you back to the audience.
Hello.
Rusty Halverson back in the studio.
Yes, sir.
Ugly sweaters. You just told me about yours, and I disqualify them from being in contention.
I didn't know you set the bar so high when it came to ugly sweaters.
The bar is that they were intended to be ugly, not a Star Wars fan.
Well, yeah. We were talking off mic.
Cordially disagree.
Yeah. Well, I have a Star Wars sweater and a Harry Potter sweater, and they're not the most beautiful sweaters in the world, but.
Which of those two franchises, not sweaters now, is your go-to?
Probably the Potter would
be.
Yeah.
That one hurt a little bit.
Well, Harry Potter, kind of a Christmas movie. Lots of Christmas themes in Harry Potter.
Okay, I do know. Listen, I have not seen, but I know that there's a tree with like candles on at some point in some movie somewhere along the way.
In a Harry Potter?
Right, isn't there?
I'm not sure.
He's also familiar with the grass that's on the ground in certain portions of the movie.
But I mean like a Christmas tree of which there is candles on.
Well,
Then don't they go do some wizardry and they go flying around?
Can you narrow it down?
Yes, those are all things that happen in the movies.
I believe there's something with a broom.
Yeah. Oh,
or in one.
The little Santa Claus was flying around on a broom. And
explain to me then how Harry Potter's a Christmas movie.
Because they have Christmas celebrations during the movies.
In front of a Christmas tree, right, with the candles?
And okay, so
okay, thanks for proving me right.
Yeah, I was introduced to the Harry Potter movie series and the book series after they all came out, and so from watching them, from maybe Eric knows, weren't most of the Harry Potter movies released around the holidays?
So I'm similar to you, as that I came to all of them late from an external influence. But I think at least a handful. There's school year, right? So that they focus on the holiday breaks and the things that take place during school. But yeah, at least a few of them have specific Christmas scenes in them. Yeah. And I believe most of them were released around Thanksgiving because that's when huge blockbusters typically get released.
There you go.
Yeah, well, correct on the blockbuster thing. But I mean, are we going to go down this path? Because I've done this before. If it has a Christmas scene in it, it's dubbed a Christmas movie. Are you of that mindset?
Or are you going to double down rant? Double down rant.
I got another hour and a half with you folks. I can rant about a lot of things. I'm in a mood today.
Okay.
So you're an anti-Die Hard as a Christmas movie person?
You're getting that impression?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, good.
Because, I think Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
It absolutely is a Christmas movie. The entire thing's about a Christmas, party.
Gone bad.
When you talk about the Christmas party of whatever the thing
the Nakatomi Plaza?
Well, yeah, but there was a recent comedy movie that came out.
Office Christmas Party?
Yeah, that's a Christmas movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Not familiar with that one. Hans Gruber.
Yes.
Professor Snape.
Alan Rickman.
Yes.
Correct. Okay, we're getting somewhere here with this conversation. People are like, let's move this along, boys. Let's talk agriculture, shall we?
Yes.
Frustrated with the sweaters attire. People, you said last hour, were frustrated with the lack of movement when it comes to trade.
Yep, frustration on Capitol Hill about the U.S. being outpaced in the global trade arena by other countries when it comes to new bilateral and multilateral trade agreements. Now, during a roundtable hosted by the group Farmers for Free Trade, California Congressman Jim Costa said inaction is partly to blame.
We didn't get our trade ambassador confirmed, I think, until June of this year. And we still don't have the agricultural trade person, Elaine Trevino, confirmed. We still have the ability, I think, to write the rules. And we know that in many cases, our competitors or adversaries don't follow the rules. I'm talking about China, obviously, and India and other countries. And now we've got a situation in Europe with Brexit.
Bloomberg reporting, Tyler, the UK and Australia poised to announce a completed free trade deal. They ended their disagreements over farm goods. The two sides agreed to an outline plan back in June. The final text could be approved, if not today, maybe tomorrow, very, very soon.
Hopefully sooner rather than later. I'm going to doubt today. Maybe next week.
For the UK and Australia.
Oh, for the UK. Yeah, sorry,
Yep,
I thought you were talking
UK.
about, because I think Congress is out. Not the Senate, but I think Congress is out. That's what I was saying. Never mind. My bad. I apologize.
Oh, no. UK and Australia.
Well, yeah, movement, maybe. Somebody was not happy with my take on the fact that Biden hasn't nominated some of these individuals. I did see that Chuck Schumer did just put cloture for some of those nominees. I have no idea if they're egg-related or not, but so maybe I'll be eating those words a little bit later on, okay? You come back in about 20 minutes, we'll play Audibles?
Sounds good.
All right, Rusty Oliver said you can check out more of his work and Sarah Heinrich. KFGO.com, just click on that agriculture tab. Let's head on up to Devils Lake, North Dakota. Visit with Tanner Trini next.
Thanks for watching News and Views on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like our page. And send us a text anytime at 35270.
Robertson here with another News Radio.
Hey, this is Abby Miller with the
Dear
Mighty
Kansas
790.
Couch Potato Radio. Did you see that? It Takes Two. Doug Miller with the morning crew this morning. News Radio.
Amy Eiler with It Takes Two.
This is Jack Michaels, Voices Forces. Joel Heitkamp here on the Mighty
Sarah Heinrich.
Tyler Axis, your host.
The Mighty 790 and 104.7 FM KFGO. The names you know, the voices you trust.
So today on MSUM campus, we're doing an ice jam, which is we're combining a bunch of percussion instruments with ice instruments, which are also going to be used in a percussive form. We're going to hit them with mallets, hammers, all those types of things. Today is all improv, so we're all just kind of working with ideas that we just kind of think of as we go, and we kind of play off each other, and it's fun to collaborate but also have a sense of independence.
First off, thank you. If the KFGO table could be a little quiet over here.
Sorry. We're talk show hosts.
Grateful for this turnout. Good Lord, you guys showed up. Thank you. Give yourself a Thursday night at Bar 9. I want to thank Bar 9 for allowing us to come here, give a trigger away. Tip your waiters and waitresses, please. They're a busting tail here. standing room only, so thank you, thank you, thank you. So what's about to happen right now, you've all come and registered. Eric Johnson is diligently spinning this golden drum. And I do mean very diligently. And in a moment, I'm going to read a name, and that name needs to be present to win. And if your name's called, I want you to yell very loudly and then come get your trigger.
That time of the week when we head on up to part of our North Country, Devils Lake, North Dakota, where we connect with our main man, Tanner Cherney. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well, Tyler. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty well. We're getting towards that end of the work week. We got a Friday Night Lights Bison game. So, yeah, I'm excited. And you know what? I think there's probably some people up there excited when we're looking at highs of 12, 6, 10. Currently 8 degrees here, probably colder up there. We're making ice is what I'm getting at.
We absolutely 100% are making ice. You know, we always get to the end of fall and everyone's kind of cherishing those last few days of warmth, and now we get to winter and it's like, all right, it's game time. Let's get this cold weather here and get us some safe ice out there. And we're sitting pretty dang good right now compared to where we were last week. So it's almost a green light time that we're going to be able to get around to a lot of those places that we've been anxiously waiting for.
Last week, you said there were spots of about 7 inches. I'm curious, have you went out and brought the auger to see how deep we are at some of those spots now?
You know, some of those spots that were 7 inches last week are probably pushing 10 to 12 now here this week. All of Devil's Lake, the main lake itself, is froze over, so we're sitting good there. The northern feeder lakes is where a lot of people are starting to move some of those smaller, side-by-sides or snowmobiles out there in ATVs, and the main lake itself. Some of the protected bays are pushing probably 8 to 10 inches, like north end of 6 Mile. And then the more exposed areas are probably sitting more in that 5 to 7. So I think by the end of this weekend, there'll be a lot of places that hopefully will be able to move around a little bit more easily.
I can tell you, Friday I was broadcasting from the Fargo ice fishing show, and the place was packed. The doors opened at 1 o'clock. The line was already formed at 12:30. People were getting in. I mean, ice fishing's on their minds. And I did see that Devil's Lake Tourism was there. Didn't get a chance to stop by, but there had to be a good showing there, and I'm sure there was a lot of interest of getting on up to that neck of the woods.
There is, and unfortunately, we just, in our planning this year, it didn't work into our schedule, so we were not at the Fargo show, but I know there's a lot of people in that neck of the woods that make their, annual trips up this way, and right now is that time where we're starting to see a lot of more people trickle into town.
Yeah. I wonder who I saw up there with Devil's Lake then. Maybe it was one of the guides, but either way, the information that's out there about ice fishing in general, the new, they were talking about new augers that don't have any spillback. There are some of the custom-made rods. Just the innovation that comes with this time of year of people that, all right, done with ice fishing from last year. They sit in their shop, they tinker with something, get on up there and use it. You were at the St. Paul one, I do know that. Is there a new device that says, look, you should probably consider looking into this before you come on up to Devil's Lake? I know you've talked about some of the lithium stuff, but just refresh my mind, if you will, Tanner.
Yeah, we've talked electronics before, a huge one, but, for anyone that wants something else that's new is the cordless drills that are, your augers, so you're not messing around with mixing fuel or even having to worry about carrying propane bottles. I know you will for heaters and stuff, but the electronic ice augers in the last 2 years have just taken off. And you talk about this time of year being in shallow water and not wanting to spook fish. Those augers, the K-drills, the lithium-ion augers from the various different brands out there are so quiet and light that they're perfect for that kind of fishing. And they're also great for the run-and-gun style of perch fishing we have up here where you can go drill 30, 40 holes on a charge and not wear out your arm because you're lugging around a 8 to 12-pound gas auger. So that's been a really cool, revolutionary thing, I'd say, over the last 5 years that's changed the way people even just look at ice fishing.
Yeah, there's no doubt. More convenience for us is something that we're always striving for, making it a little bit more comfortable, making it a little bit more enjoyable, a little bit easier on the body the older we get as well, Tanner. What else? We're making ice, and it sounds like it's, we're heading in the right direction finally to get some of those bigger rigs out there. What I missed this week before I let you go?
If anyone's looking to get out, whether you're going to be walking out this weekend or taking a four-wheeler to some of those better ice areas, it's a great time for walleye fishing. And just a word of the wise, we all talk about vertical jigging with buckshots and rip and wraps and jig and wraps and various aggressive lures. but don't overlook throwing a dead stick out this time of year. You're going to get a lot of those fish up shallow, and you're going to get them coming to those rattle baits. But also, if you just got that dead stick out there with a full minnow, we're very fortunate in North Dakota. We can have 4 lines, so make use of that, and I think you'll find yourself a few walleyes topside.
Well, have a good time up on Devil's Lake, North Dakota. Tanner, I'm going to let you go. We'll chat again next Thursday, all right?
Sounds great, Tyler. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, you do the same. Tanner Cherney, Devil's Lake Tourism. You know what? You want to learn more about just the lake, the other commodities that they have up there, the other ways in which you can enjoy everything. You just go to devilslakend.com. They've got everything from your lodging to your guides to where you can eat, have a beverage as well, all in one convenient location. Going to get you a weather update from Too Tall. I've been telling you some of the highs. He'll go a little bit more in depth, and then we'll wrap up hour number 2, Thursday afternoon of Afternoons Live next.
So today on MSUM campus, we're doing an ice jam, which is we're combining a bunch of percussion instruments with ice instruments, which are also going to be used in a percussive form. We're going to hit them with mallets, hammers, all those types of things. Today is all improv, so we're all just kind of working with ideas that we just kind of think of as we go, and we kind of play off each other, and it's fun to collaborate but also have a sense of independence.
Thanks for watching News and Views on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like our page, and send us a text anytime at 35270.
Hey, this is Abby Miller with the
Derek
Mighty
Hansen, Couch
790.
Potato Radio. Did you see that? From It Takes Two. Doug Miller with the morning crew this morning. Jerkins News Radio.
Katie Eiler with It Takes Two.
This is Jack Michaels, Voices Forces.
Too tall.
Joel Heitkamp here on the Mighty
Sarah Heinrich.
Tyler Axis, your host.
The Mighty 790 and 104.7 FM KFGO. The names you know, the voices you trust.
Thank you. If the KFGO table could be a little quiet over here.
Sorry. We're talking show.
Grateful for this turnout. Good Lord, you guys showed up. Thank you. Give yourself a round. Thursday night at Bar 9, and I want to thank Bar 9 for allowing us to come here, give a trigger away. Tip your waiters and waitresses, please. They are busting tail here. Standing room only, so thank you, thank you, thank you. So what's about to happen right now, you've all come and registered. Eric Johnson is diligently spinning this golden drum. And I do mean very diligently. And in a moment, I'm going to read a name, and that name needs to be present to win. And if your name's called, I want you to yell very loudly and then come get your tray. All right, you ready?
Do it.
For those of you that can't see, well, my hand is now going into the golden drum. I have pulled one name. Courtney? Yep. Courtney? Yeah, you can hear a pin drop. That's great. Courtney Lavonda? Courtney, get on up here.
Why do I like ice fishing so much? I don't know, to me it's just something I enjoy and just a hobby that I've been into for quite a few years, and I'm not necessarily good at it, but I enjoy it. It's fun. It's good time to get out and hang out with all your buddies and just get away from reality for a little while. First time that I ever went ice fishing, I was like 6 or 7, and I actually fell through the ice. We were in a portable ice house, and I was standing in there, and my dad and my uncle Kevin were moving it, and when they pushed it, I wasn't ready for it, and my leg went down the hole. That was fun. It was cold. You can get into hunting and fishing and stuff like that relatively cheap. And
only 5 minutes left in the 3 o'clock hour. Audibles brought to you by Don's Car Wash. After we get you caught up with all your news needs, put a smile on your car and on your face if you choose correctly who wins. This week we have Abby Miller, Rusty Halverson, Matthew English, myself. I am Tyler Axon. It's going to be with you until 5 o'clock. A little bit later on, Proof Artisan Distillers is going to be in studio as well. Joel Kath, our main man, is actually out and about selling some of that product, which you can find worldwide. And I'd encourage you, if you have not tried yet, find them and give them a shot. We got a little sneak peek, if you will, of the Motorhead whiskey just a couple of weeks ago. Eric Johnson and myself went down there. We'll tell you more about that and some of the other whiskeys for the winter coming up. Well, no, it shouldn't say come. That is upon us. And what maybe you would just want to indulge in to keep a little warm while you're ice fishing or if you're out tailgating tomorrow. Before I get you caught up with news, though, I had talked briefly yesterday about Rich Wardner, the Senate Majority Leader, not running for re-election, saying what that's going to do for the process, for the status of the North Dakota Senate. And this morning, and this wasn't news, I guess, as far as a surprise, I guess, for me is how I should put it, that a Senate Minority Leader, Joan Heckman, is retiring as well. And Joan's been a stalwart in that body as well. So you have the two leaders from the two parties in the North Dakota Senate not going to be there next session. You've already had others announce that they're not seeking re-election. I would not be surprised if you hear more coming up in the weeks and months ahead. And you couple that with some of the election results of the last few years. The North Dakota Senate is not what it once was. And that's not going to do anybody any favors. You're going to prolong, going to waste time, going to waste your money, because instead of that dialogue that is meant with a purpose to get something done, that is, quite frankly, what a majority of the North Dakota Senate's time had been. All those stupid ideas that make the headlines used to go to the North Dakota Senate to die. There's enough common sense there to reject the idiocy that comes from, quite frankly, the House of Representatives. And boy, do I know I've got House members listening right now. But the North Dakota Senate is going to quickly resemble the House, and all that stupidity that once went to the wayside going to become law. And that's unfortunate when you have these bipartisan leaders no longer serving. We'll have more to say about that at a different time because we're having fun. Audibles, that's coming up right after this KFGO and CBS News. Stick around.
So today on MSUM campus, we're doing an ice jam, which is we're combining a bunch of percussion instruments with ice instruments, which are also going to be used in a percussive form. We're going to hit them with mallets, hammers, all those types of things. Today is all improv, so we're all just kind of working with ideas that we just kind of think of as we go, and we kind of play off each other, and it's fun to collaborate but also have a sense of independence.
Why do I like ice fishing so much? I don't know, to me it's just something I enjoy and just a hobby that I've been into for quite a few years, and I'm not necessarily good at it, but I enjoy it. It's fun. It's good time to get out and hang out with all your buddies and just get away from reality for a little while. First time that I ever went ice fishing, I was like 6 or 7, and I actually fell through the ice. We were in a portable ice house, and I was standing in there, and my dad and my uncle Kevin were moving it, and when they pushed it, I wasn't ready for it, and my leg went down the hole. That was fun. It was cold. You can get into hunting and fishing and stuff like that relatively cheap, and it's just like buying a vehicle. You can spend thousands and thousands of dollars, or you can just go to Walmart and get enough stuff and go out and do it, and you can be just as successful as the people that spend all the money on it. North Bros Outdoors, yeah, me and a buddy of mine, Jacob Enixon, we went to high school together, and we actually had the idea back in high school to make an outdoors page, just hunting and fishing, four-wheeling, anything outdoors basically. A lot of it right now, it's really heavily based on ice fishing, and this fall it was heavily based on deer hunting and bow hunting and rifle season too. So yeah, just kind of an outdoors group, and we call ourselves North Bros Outdoors. We've got a Facebook, an Instagram, and a YouTube channel. There's plenty of brands out there that you can get into it. If you're questioning it and you want to do it, do it. You won't regret it. The outdoors it's awesome.
Well, we're doing a food giveaway event to the community. A lot of people are facing food insecurity at this time. As we can tell, we had to start about an hour early because we just had so many people lined up. So as people come up and they need whatever they need, volunteers are taking care of it. It's all contactless, so nobody has to get out. And just making sure whatever the greatest need. We're just getting the greatest good. We're going until the food is out. As people are coming in, if they need 2 boxes and 2 gallons of milk, that's what we're giving. We don't want to leave anybody out.
I was in the hospital, and I saw a flyer on the wall. And all the nurses were talking about taking people down there to get food and stuff. I got out last night. Got out of the hospital last night, and I said, man, I'm going to do this. When I came from Williston here, I lived on these streets for 3 years, caring. And that's what this is. That's the way I see it. Very helpful. I think it's going to be very helpful because I know people that are doing without.
I think it's truly remarkable how much need there is out there. Like I said, we were going to start at noon, but we had so many people lined up. We started at 11, and volunteers have been working their tail off since then. I'm thankful for that. I think this shows that there is some huge needs in the community, and we got some things we got to address.
Thank you. If the KFGO table could be a little quiet over here.
Sorry. We're talk show hosts.
Grateful for this turnout. Good Lord, you guys showed up. Thank you. Give yourself a round of applause. Thursday night at Bar 9, and I want to thank Bar 9 for allowing us to come here, give a trigger away. Tip your waiters and waitresses, please. They are busting tail here. Standing room only, so thank you, thank you, thank you. So what's about to happen right now, you've all come and registered. Eric Johnson is diligently spinning this golden drum. And I do mean very diligently. And in a moment I'm going to read a name, and that name needs to be present to win. And if your name's called, I want you to yell very loudly and then come get your tray. All right, you ready?
Do it.
For those of you that can't see, well, my hand is now going into the golden drum. I have pulled one name. Courtney? Yep. Courtney? Yeah, you can hear a pin drop. That's great. Courtney Lavonda? Courtney, get on up here. Courtney, there you are.
Thanks for watching News and Views on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like our page, and send us a text anytime at 35270.
Hey, this is Abby Miller with the
Dear
Mighty
Kansas
790.
Couch Potato Radio. Did you see that? It Takes Two. Doug here with the morning crew.
Headed for our weekly showdown of Audibles. Brought to you by Don's Car Wash. Put a smile on your car and on that face of yours. If you choose correctly, Abby Miller just gracefully walked into the KFGO studio. This time for real. Didn't come kicking down the door. Hi, Abby. Welcome.
Hello.
You're like contestant has made it here so far.
I know, I'm the first one. I'm never the first one.
You're never the first. You're always the one that I'm about yelling at saying, get in here. So Abby Miller's playing. You got Rusty Halverson, Matthew English from 740 The Fan. Myself, I'm Tyler Axis. Audible's coming up. Oh, do us a favor. If you want to watch us do radio, you can go to KFGO.com. Just click on the play button a little bit down the screen there, and you can watch the reactions as we play Audibles. Right after this KFGO News, we will be visiting with Proof Artisan Distillers as well, tell you about all of their holiday products and where you might be able to find them. Jarek Kath is going to be joining us this week to tell you all about that and more in the final hour of Afternoons Live right here on 790 AM and 104.7 FM KFGO.
KFGO News, Fargo-Moorhead sunny and 8 degrees. I'm Paul Juergens. At least 5 people died when a powerful storm system swept across the Great Plains and Midwest, spawning hurricane-force winds and likely tornadoes in Nebraska, Iowa, and Minnesota. A 65-year-old man was killed last night when a tree fell on him outside his home near Rochester, Minnesota. He was outside smoking when warning sirens sounded. Other families made it to the basement, but the victim did not. A New York Mills, Minnesota police officer has died of COVID-19 complications. Officer Ron Smith died after a 14-year law enforcement career. Smith was admitted to Lakewood Health System in Staples on November 26 and was later transferred to Duluth, where he was put on a ventilator. Smith served as a police officer in New York Mills, Perham, and Wadena, and was a part-time deputy with the Wadena County Sheriff's Office. A Moorhead man is facing the possibility of life in prison after agreeing to plead guilty to federal sex crime-related charges. 46-year-old James Van Raden has signed an agreement with federal prosecutors to plead guilty to attempted sex trafficking of children and 2 counts of distributing child pornography. The case began in 2019 when Van Raden responded to an ad from an undercover West Fargo police detective who acted as a father looking for a tutor for his 10-year-old daughter. Van Raden agreed to pay $500 and was told he could have the girl for as long as he needed. He was also accused of sending photos of a naked child through an online app. A Millbank, South Dakota man is jailed on $5 million cash-only bond for the murders of 2 people and an unborn child in Millbank. 57-year-old Brent Hansen was arrested after police and Grant County deputies found the bodies of the 2 people in a home. The woman was pregnant. State Division of Criminal Investigation agents are assisting in the case. The victims' names and a potential motive have not been released. Salvation Army has again teamed with Cloverdale Foods and Hornbachers in Fargo-Moorhead and West Fargo to provide a donation of over $10,000 for Christmas food boxes. Hornbacher's president Matt Lysa says it's the 13th year of the partnership. Salvation Army Major Abe Tamayo.
We're seeing an up in our numbers, of course, people asking for requests. We see families in more dire situations. And, of course, the colder it gets, the tougher it gets for family, utility bills and rents, all those types of things. So the need is always there. So it's just really especially nice to give them a full Christmas dinner, that they can come together as a family, enjoy that day in abundance, and then go on with what they need, whatever services we can provide to them. We're sure to do that.
An estimated 740 food boxes will contain hams from Cloverdale this holiday season. Partly cloudy, Fargo-Moorhead. We expect to dip below 0 overnight, about 2 below, according to meteorologist Tom Shemansky. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, some snow chances. High of 12, 1 to 3 inches of snow possible tomorrow through tomorrow night. That areas of snow should end tomorrow night. 2 below once again for the overnight low. 6 on Saturday, partly sunny, and mostly cloudy for Sunday, and 22 Fargo-Moorhead, 7 degrees. Paul Jurgens, News Radio KFGO.
I forgot about that new intro. It took me by surprise. Well
it was
done.
weird.
It was weird. It was great.
It was great, though,
It got
yeah.
you pumped up, didn't it, Abby Miller?
So pumped.
So pumped. Rusty Halverson was jumping out of his chair here.
Am I in the right place?
Do you feel like you're in an 80s game show?
It's great.
Matthew English in studio, 740 The Fan. How you doing, man?
I'm doing terrific.
You've been busy. How do you
Yes.
keep track? Do you get any
no,
sleep at
no
night?
rest for the weary. You know, we're in the thick of it now with high school basketball, and yeah, it's great though.
Yeah, it's exciting. I just don't think you or Jack Michaels get any sleep. That's all I'm saying. Eric Johnson put together Audibles, our weekly game. That's brought to you by Don's Car Wash. If you're watching us on YouTube, got the gift certificate right in my hand. Let's get the game going.
All right, guys, it is 4 o'clock on a Thursday, which means it's Audibles time. I've got 5 categories over here, 4 pieces of audio in each category. We do scaled scoring, so if you can identify the correct answer on the first piece of audio, you get 4 points, second piece 3 points, and so on. Tyler won last week, so he'll get to select the first category. After that, whoever gets the correct answer will select the next one. You'll ring in with your name. Your name's your buzzer. That's how to determine who gets to go first. If you answer incorrectly on any category, you're out for the rest of that one. Back in on the next one. The categories for this week: song, actor, character, movie, and TV show.
Actor.
Actor, audio clip number 1. Actor, audio clip number 2. Actor, audio clip number 3.
Matt.
Willem
Dafoe.
Matt out
Good for
to
you.
the early 2-point lead with Willem Dafoe. Matt, would you like song, character, movie, or TV show?
Character.
Character, fictional character, audio clip number 1. Character, audio clip number 2. Character. Tyler.
Is this really Mary Jane? Mary Jane. Not what you're thinking, the way. Not that Mary Jane. She's a character.
Indeed.
Right.
A fictional one.
A fictional character. Who'd have thought?
Non-existent bonus
Who
point
would've
if you can
thought?
remember her last name.
Watson.
There we go.
Stand in
Play for
Matthew's
free,
way. He's cutting to the front of the line over here.
All right, that puts Tyler in the lead, but Matt right behind Tyler with 3, Matt with 2. Still 3 categories remaining. Tyler, would you like song, movie, or TV show?
Television show.
TV show. Audio clip number 1. TV show. Audio clip number 2.
Abby.
Oh, Abby.
Parks and Rec.
Wow.
Yes.
Whoa.
On the board.
2 cameo appearances, and she nails it.
Terry
Nicely
Jerry, of course. Gary Gergich.
All right, here's where we sit. A tie atop with Tyler and Abby both with 3 points. Matt right behind with 2. Rusty, you have to score, but still 2 categories remaining. Abby, would you like song or movie?
Let's do song.
Song. Audio clip number 1. Song. Audio clip number 2.
Matt.
Matt.
Blitzkrieg Bop.
Wow.
No,
Nice.
Shoot him in the back now.
Wait!
What they want.
That you actually sound good.
Wow. All right. That was one of our more impressive
Can you play
gets.
Can you play another one of that? I don't actually know that song at all.
No.
Well, that doesn't help.
Yeah, you do. You'll get there.
Oh, now I've got it.
Yep.
Hey, ho, let's go.
Yes.
Oh. Do they ever say the name in it?
Hey, let's go.
Now I've got a question for.
Really letting it play?
Blitzkrieg Bop.
Oh, they say it right there?
But do songs all have to have the name of the title in the song for you?
No. Bob O'Reilly. But I think
Moonlight
it just
Sonata.
I think it just helps, you know?
Oh.
But yes, they do say
Yes.
this several
Okay.
times. Actually, it's hard to find lyrics where they don't say it immediately afterwards.
Good catch, Matt. Wow.
That
was a good catch.
That was like on with Miami Vice of Derek Hansen level.
All right, so here's where we sit. One category remaining. Unfortunately, Rusty, you are eliminated from competition.
what can
but
you do?
you can play spoiler, because if you answer correctly at any point, or if Matt answers correctly at any point, Matt is the winner this week. Tyler and Abby, you need 2 points for the tie, 3 for the clean win. Final category, movie, audio clip number 1. Movie, audio clip number 2. Movie, audio clip number 3.
Tyler
For the tie.
Oh, now I can't think of it.
5, 4,
The
3,
counting helps.
2,
I can't.
1.
Can you give me a hint? I'll guess.
Oh, I can picture what movie I want to say, and I'm not going to give you any clues.
But we will listen to that clip in its entirety. Movie,
Ooh, thanks.
audio clip number 3.
Why can't I think of the name of this movie?
All right, I we'll see how this goes. The final audio clip, movie, audio clip number 4.
I can't think of it.
Abby.
Abby.
It seems cheerleady. Let's say Bring It On.
Why
did they go earlier?
I couldn't.
Dang
I
it.
knew what movie. I knew it was Turtles into the. I couldn't think of the name.
Well,
I'm upset with myself.
unfortunately,
Yeah, it does nothing.
Tyler and Abby could not get there, which means Matt English is our winner for this week.
Matthew, congratulations again, man.
Good to be back on top.
Yes. Would you like to host your post-game press conference now?
Yeah. Well, I got lucky there with kind of racking the brain, and Eric played some great clips. It just all really came together. So it was total team effort.
Well done, Matthew English. 740 fan. You got a game tonight?
Tomorrow.
What?
Yep.
Oh,
Northern. Yep. Friday night. I'll be up there in Northern Cass, Palace on the Prairie for a little boys tilt between the Jaguars and Wyndmere Lidgerwood. But believe me, I'll be getting updates on the Bison game all night. So.
Very good. Matthew English, the winner. In fact, if you selected Matthew English in the text club at 35270, be watching. You're going to get a text from me. You got the Don's Car Wash on the way. Abby, so close.
I hate myself.
Rusty, I just hope you had fun.
Let's talk about soybean oil and renewable diesel tomorrow.
Matt English, our winner. Folks, that's brought to you by Don's Car Wash. We'll do it all over again next week. More Afternoons Live right after this on KFGO.
Robertson here with another Don of our Agri News Radio.
Hey, this is Abby Miller with the
Derek
Mighty
Hansen, Couch
790.
Potato Radio. Did you see that? From It Takes Two. Doug here with the morning crew this morning. Jerkins News Radio.
Katie Eiler with It Takes Two.
This is Jack Michaels, Voice of Sports.
Too tall,
Joel Heitkamp here on the Mighty
Sarah Heinrich.
Tyler Axis, your host.
The Mighty 790 and 104.7 FM KFGO. The names you know, the voices you trust.
First off, thank you. If the KFGO table could be a little quiet over here.
Sorry. We're talk show hosts.
Grateful for this turnout. Good Lord, you guys showed up. Thank you. Give yourself a round. Thursday night at Bar 9, I want to thank Bar 9 for allowing us to come here, give a trigger away. Tip your waiters and waitresses, please. They are busting tail here. Standing room only, so thank you, thank you, thank you. So what's about to happen right now, you've all come and registered. Eric Johnson is diligently spinning this golden drum. And I do mean very diligently. And in a moment, I'm going to read a name, and that name needs to be present to win. And if your name's called, I want you to yell very loudly and then come get your tray. All right, you ready?
Do it.
For those of you that can't see, well, my hand is now going into the golden drum. I have pulled one name.
Courtney?
Courtney? Yeah, you can hear a pin drop. That's great. Courtney Lavonda? Courtney, get on up here. Courtney, there you are. Congratulations. Oh, no, we're not ready. All right.
So today on MSUM campus, we're doing an ice jam, which is we're combining a bunch of percussion instruments with ice instruments, which are also going to be used in a percussive form. We're going to hit them with mallets, hammers, all those types of things. Today is all improv, so we're all just kind of working with ideas that we just kind of think of as we go, and we kind of play off each other, and it's fun to collaborate but also have a sense of independence.
Well, we're doing a food giveaway event to the community. A lot of people are facing food insecurity at this time. As we can tell, we had to start about an hour early because we just had so many people lined up. So as people come up and they need whatever they need, volunteers are taking care of it. It's all contactless, so nobody has to get out, and just making sure whatever the greatest need. We're just getting the greatest good. When we're going until the food is out. As people are coming in, if they need 2 boxes and 2 gallons of milk, that's what we're giving. We don't want to leave anybody out.
I was in the hospital, and I saw a flyer on the wall. And all the nurses were talking about taking people down there to get food and stuff. I got out last night. Got out of the hospital last night, and I said, man, I'm going to do this. When I came from Williston here, I lived on these streets for 3 years, caring. And that's what this is. That's the way I see it. Very helpful. I think it's going to be very helpful because I know people that are doing without.
I think it's truly remarkable how much need there is out there. Like I said, we were going to start at noon, but we had so many people lined up.
Go for a little walk. This is definitely one of them for me. Turn it up a little bit. KFGO time, 4:24. Fast approaching that 5 o'clock punch out. And get where you're going safely at that time. We will be checking in on the drive time news a little bit later on. You have Game On Hockey, Travis Dunn in studio. That is 6 p.m. And, of course, Thursday Night Football. So get your picks in. I'm saying that aloud to remind myself before I leave. Chiefs at Chargers. That'll be an all right game. Chargers a surprise team as far as how quickly Justin Herbert has come into his own. I mean, that offense just kind of fun to watch. And Kansas City seems to have found their stride after stumbling a little. You know, when we talk about, teams are going to figure out X quarterback. They're going to figure out Josh Allen. They're going to figure out whatever. The name, insert quarterback name here. Never did anybody say, well, they're going to figure out Pat Mahomes. It felt like they did earlier this season, but maybe that offense is just starting to click again because now they're starting to play like them Chiefs that they had been playing for the last couple of years. And unfortunately, you got New England at the top of the AFC, and I swear if it is New England against Tampa Bay, I always say, well, look, I'm going to watch no matter what. It's a Super Bowl. And it'll probably be the same here, but I would dread. That would be the first year which I would prefer just watching the commercials and that Super Bowl halftime, which Dr. Dre.
Yeah, this halftime sounds like one.
Like I would actually turn the subs on. I'll get that surround sound blasted for Dr. Dre, Eminem, and Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige. Who else am I missing? There's one other. Is it Nate Dogg? No, is it? No. Is Nate Dogg still around?
Boy, now I'm going to feel stupid no matter what I answer.
This will be a Ronnie Millsap situation of which Paul Jurgens were giving me grief about that earlier. Somebody out there, is Nate Dogg still around? 35270.
No, it was a newer artist that is the other one. Is it Wiz Khalifa, maybe? It's a newer rap artist.
You're right. Is Wiz Khalifa the one that has From Minot, North Dakota, or was that it?
Yeah, he's an Air Force.
Yeah,
Air
so
Force
it was that. I don't think it was him, though. I want to say it's not T-Pain, but T-Pain keeps going to mind also. I don't want you to look it up. I want somebody out there that is listening that knows. 35270. Who are we missing on the Super Bowl halftime lineup of this year? And I don't want to hear from Eric Johnson, who goes and cheats and Googles.
I did, and I was wrong, but kind of right. Mostly wrong.
I still want my answer to Nate Dogg also. Because Nate Dogg and Warren G, they still got to regulate from time to time.
It's true.
35270, you send that in. 237-594. It's the Laney studio line. Here's what's coming up. We got Proof Artisan Distillers. They're going to be in studio. We had a chance to go over there and sample the Motorhead that we've been telling about when we broke the news that they had partnered with that band of which you know a lot about. Well, delicious. They nailed it yet again. Multi-award-winning gins, vodkas, all of that. You'd be surprised of the other selection that they have over there as well. For all your convenience, they've got, the coffee liqueurs, all of that at Proof. You can find that at most liquor stores. They'll tell you about that and some of those drinks that might warm you up on a cold tailgate like it's going to be tomorrow. But first, KFGO News.
Thanks for watching News and Views on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like our page. And send us a text anytime at 35270.
Hey, this is Abby Miller with
Derek Hansen, Couch Potato Radio. Did you see that from It Takes Two? Doug here with the morning crew this morning. All Jerkins News Radio.
Amy Eiler with It Takes Two.
This is Jack Michaels, Voices Force.
Too tall,
Joel Heitkamp here on the Mighty
Sarah Heinrich.
Tyler Axis, your host.
The Mighty 790 and 104.7 FM KFGO. The names you know, the voices you trust.
So today on MSUM campus, we're doing an ice jam, which is we're combining a bunch of percussion instruments with ice instruments, which are also going to be used in a percussive form. We're going to hit them with mallets, hammers, all those types of things. Today is all improv, so we're all just kind of working with ideas that we just kind of think of as we go, and we kind of play off each other, and it's fun to collaborate but also have a sense of independence.
Well, we're doing a food giveaway event to the community. A lot of people are facing food insecurity at this time. As we can tell, we had to start about an hour early because we just had so many people lined up. So as people come up and they need whatever they need, volunteers are taking care of it. It's all contactless, so nobody has to get out, and just making sure whatever the greatest need. We're just getting the greatest good. We're going until the food is out. As people are coming in, if they need 2 boxes and 2 gallons of milk, that's what we're giving. We don't want to leave anybody out.
I was in the hospital, and I saw a flyer on the wall. And all the nurses were talking about taking people down there to get food and stuff. I got out last night. The hospital last night, and I said, man, I'm going to do this. When I came from Williston here, I lived on these streets for 3 years, caring. And that's what this is. That's the way I see it. Very helpful. I think it's going to be very helpful because I know people that are doing without.
I think it's truly remarkable how much need there is out there. Like I said, we were going to start at noon, but we had so many people lined up. We started at 11. And volunteers have been working their tail off since then. I'm thankful for that. I think this shows that there is some huge needs in the community, and we got some things we got to address.
Thank you. If the KFGO table could be a little quiet over here.
Sorry. We're talk show.
Grateful for this turnout. Good Lord, you guys showed up. Thank you. Give yourself a Thursday night at Bar 9. I want to thank Bar 9 for allowing us to come here, give a trigger away. Tip your waiters and waitresses, please. They are busting tail here. Standing room only, so thank you. So what's about to happen right now, you've all come and registered. Eric Johnson is diligently spinning this golden drum. And I do mean very diligently. And in a moment, I'm going to read a name, and that name needs to be present to win. And if your name's called, I want you to yell very loudly and then come get your tray. All right, you ready?
Do it.
For those of you that can't see, well, my hand is now going into the golden drum. I have pulled one name. Courtney? Yeah, you can hear a pin drop. That's great. Courtney Lavonda? Courtney, get on up here.
Last year, Fargo sector at Nashville Airport had nearly 38,000 passengers for its best November ever. Partly cloudy, Fargo-Moorhead overnight. We look for a low of about 2 below zero. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and 12 above. Areas of light snow expected to move in. Meteorologist Tom Shermansky has us down for 1 to 3 inches of snow. That would be through tomorrow night. That snow ending tomorrow night. Low again near 2 below, 6 above. Partly sunny on Saturday. Mostly cloudy Sunday, 22. And near 10 degrees Monday, partly sunny. Fargo-Moorhead, partly cloudy, and it is 7. Paul Jerkins, News Radio, KFGO.
Well, we discovered Nate Dogg. Tragically, it's been 10 years? I feel like almost a jerk for not knowing.
Yeah, March of 2011.
Wow.
Some health issues.
So, for those that are texting in about regulators, crank that up after 5 o'clock, because we still got another 25 minutes with you right here on KFGO. In fact, we're going to tell you about Proof Artisan Distillers. That's coming up right after this CBS National News. We'll get you ready for that 5 o'clock punch-out next. Don't go anywhere.
So today on MSUM campus, we're doing an ice jam, which is we're combining a bunch of percussion instruments with ice instruments, which are also going to be used in a percussive form. We're going to hit them with mallets, hammers, all those types of things. Today is all improv, so we're all just kind of working with ideas that we just kind of think of as we go, and we kind of play off each other, and it's fun to collaborate but also have a sense of independence.
Thanks for watching News and Views on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like our page, and send us a text anytime at 35270.
Why do I like ice fishing so much? I don't know, to me it's just something I enjoy and just a hobby that I've been into for quite a few years, and I'm not necessarily good at it, but I enjoy it. It's fun. It's good time to get out and hang out with all your buddies and just get away from reality for a little while. First time that I ever went ice fishing, I was I was like 6 or 7, and I actually fell through the ice. We were in a portable ice house, and I was standing in there, and my dad and my uncle Kevin were moving it, and when they pushed it, I wasn't ready for it, and my leg went down the hole. That was fun. It was cold. You can get into hunting and fishing and stuff like that relatively cheap, and it's just like buying a vehicle. You can spend thousands and thousands of dollars, or you can just go to Walmart and get enough stuff and go out and do it, and you can be just as successful as the people that spend all the money on it. North Bros Outdoors, yeah, me and a buddy of mine, Jacob Enixon, we went to high school together, and we actually had the idea back in high school to make an outdoors page, just hunting and fishing, four-wheeling, anything outdoors basically. A lot of it right now, it's really, really heavily based on ice fishing, and this fall it was heavily based on deer hunting and bow hunting and rifle season too, so yeah, just kind of an outdoors group, and we call ourselves North Bros Outdoors. We've got a Facebook, an Instagram, and a YouTube channel. There's plenty of brands out there that you can get into it. If you're questioning it and you want to do it, do it. You won't regret it. The outdoors it's awesome.
Hey, this is Abby Miller with the
Derek Hansen, Couch Potato Radio. Did you see that? From It Takes Two. Doug here with the morning crew this morning. Paul Jerkins, News Radio.
Amy Eiler with It Takes Two.
This is Jack Michaels, Voices Force. Joel Heitkamp here on the Mighty
Sarah Heinrich.
I had to wait for the whiskey glasses part because we're talking whiskey today with Joel Kath, Proof Artisan Distillers. Welcome back, man.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Got to tell you, after we sampled that Motorhead the other week,
it's
top
fun.
shelf stuff. That's
That is
really
very
good
fun.
stuff. Yeah.
High rye, our first rye.
Yeah. Well, you first and all right. You're not going to
Yes.
surpass that. Quality was good. I don't
Thank
know.
you much.
Yeah. Well, I assure you that's been nipped at a little times at the house there. But thanks for having us over to do that. Whiskey classes. We just heard some whiskey
Yes.
glasses. You got whiskey classes coming up.
We are, yes, January 21st. The tickets are available now, which would make a great holiday gift. But yeah, we're doing a whiskey class and tasting and sampling and a light meal Friday, January 21st at the distillery.
So walk me through this because I've done the gin class and I had a blast. You know, to where you come out and I don't want if I'm giving any trade secrets, tell me just to shut up. You want to be the first one today to tell me that. You know, to where here's the varieties of which typically goes into a gin. You pick what you like. You go make. Is this class anywhere near that? Is it vastly different?
We're going to not get into the production per se.
Okay.
We're going to do tours and go back
Sure.
and talk about that and do that. But as far as a live demonstration of making whiskey, most of whiskey making is sitting and waiting for 4 years until it gets good.
How much time do you have out there, ladies and gentlemen?
So we are gonna be looking at a few of the stages at that. But talking about the various, we've got now 5 whiskeys out.
Yeah.
And including the Motorhead. So we'll be evaluating the differences and talking about the differences. And as you've seen, where we did that is, you know, the difference between Crooked Furrow, our standard bourbon, and the Motorhead, the difference is rye.
Yeah.
So when you taste the difference between the two, and that's kind of the introduction of whiskey tasting is recognizing some of those different flavors and where they come from.
You know, the flavors, but the aromas too,
Yes.
and how that varies so much in the way of which you distill these products is just fascinating to me.
Well, Glen is one of my favorites. I mean, that is really my favorite. I hate to say that out loud, but that is my Glen Fargo American Malt Whiskey.
It's amazing.
Spectacular. And what I like about it most is that as it opens up, the bouquet goes sweet, malto-meal, caramely, but the palate doesn't move. So that's one of them where it doesn't taste exactly like it smells.
Yeah, it kind of messes with your mind just a little bit about that, the whole sensory. But at Glen Fargo is, I've told you plenty of times. So that was the one that when we went to the gin class, then let's try this and walk out of one with everything. But that one really surprises when it comes to the whiskey.
When you watch that open up and smell that as it changes, it's really a fun spirit.
Proof Artisan Distillery, they're nationally award-winning of these gins and vodkas and whiskeys that we're talking about. They want stepping away here.
And they make fantastic gifts. And, we were just talking about quality spirits is a great gift. Number one, it's never regifted. It's never returned, and it's never complained about. I guess the only problem that it could cause is that when you gift one, it should be expected to be open and shared.
See, that's what I'm glad you went there because we every year we do a friends thing to where we call it a Yankee swap. Some people call it a white elephant, and sometimes you bring. The older you get, it seems like those gag gifts turns into like this is a gift of value.
Yes,
some people brought some liquor. You expect even if you pulled that at number 7, everyone's getting a little nip of this thing, right? So
Absolutely.
Yes, if you're purchasing. And if you receive, be considerate.
It wants to come out and play.
Yes, there you go. And what a better way than doing it over the holidays here. Yeah, it's the last second Christmas shopping. We've got 9 days.
Wow.
8 days maybe. It depends on if you're doing the Christmas Eve. But the last minute shopping, if people are thinking, all right, Glen Fargo, that Motorhead, that's limited, all that. Where do they go find this?
Well, liquor stores all around the area. Stop in downtown also to the distillery. 8 to 5, Monday to Friday. During the weeks we're open and distilling. Stop on in.
Yeah.
This Saturday, we're going to be next door at above Side Street, the 4-on-4.
Okay.
There is a last-minute gift vendor show that they're throwing over there, kind of an open house, and we've got a booth set up over there.
And this is Saturday.
This coming Saturday.
What's convenient for those procrastinators like myself that we have a Friday night Bison game that opens up Saturday to do these last-minute shopping
Yes,
ideas.
it does.
Very good. That's going to be Saturday up above Side Street. I also know that there's cookies and cocktails. I've heard of this.
Next Wednesday the 22nd, 2 to 7 p.m. The tasting room is going to be open. We're going to have cookies and cocktails for the afternoon. And we'll be serving cocktails. We'll open it up as a tasting room as it has been for.
Yeah.
And
oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, so cookies and cocktails, and we'll be playing with some spirits as well.
And if you have not been down to the room at 414 4th Avenue North, you're missing out. Beautiful facility, and the aromas in there, let me tell you. I've been teasing throughout the week here because I knew I was going to visit with you today before a lot of us are tailgating in single-digit weather tomorrow. It's going to be cold out up in the Fargo Dome. I know you don't like mixing because it's a fine art with your whiskeys and all your products, but you know it's going to be cold out there. Some people might not want to just get a 30 rack of Busch Light, for example, and they want something that might warm them up. What would you recommend with Proof's products?
And there's a cocktail that is only a certain time of year, eggnog. And some like, some dislike. I personally, for a short period of time, really appreciate it. We had some last night, in fact, watching TV and listening to the wind howl. So Crooked Furrow bourbon and eggnog. We use cask clay or Kemp's. It's spectacular. Don't get the flavored eggnog.
Yeah,
It's just
not the peppermint kind.
No, just a straight eggnog. Warm that up. Warm the eggnog up separate from the spirit.
Okay, that seems very important to you.
Well, if you bring the mixture to a boil, you're boiling off the alcohol.
Oh, well, what fun is that?
Boils off
then?
first.
Yeah.
And it also does change the flavor. So what I do is I just heat up the eggnog and then pour about 1 part to 3, 1 part whiskey to 1 part Crooked Furrow to 3 parts eggnog.
There you go. I hope you wrote that down.
1 to 3. Okay.
Yes. Get those digits working out there. So, okay.
And it's also to taste. If
Yeah.
you want it stronger, make it stronger by all means. If you want it less, make it less. Yes.
But here's your starting off point is 1 to 3, he says. There you go. Eggnog and all of Proof's products right there. Joel, what did I miss? We got the holidays.
In a thermos. You got to put it in a thermos because it's going to be warm.
Yeah, it's going to be a hot beverage on a very cold night. 1 to 3 inches of snow possible. And like I said, the high tomorrow is 10 degrees. That means by the time 6:37 rolls around, it should be a little chilly out there.
That'll keep your hands warm as well.
Keep the hands warm, keep the insides warm for just a little bit as well before you get on in there and watch hopefully a Bison victory. What I missed about Proof this week?
We are looking forward to the new year. Again, we're going to be opening up the tasting.
Again, if you have not been down there, just told you, go to their Facebook, follow them. If you're wondering where the address is, 414 4th Avenue North, Fargo, North Dakota. Going to get you that last weather update for the show with Too Tall Tom. We'll wrap up Afternoons Live next.